football, and Justin Gilbert is back deep to open today's game.
He is a bad, bad man back there on kickoff returns. He can take it the distance.
It's a gold rush in Morgantown, and we're underway. And it'll be a touchback to start the game for the Cowboys. There used to be, briefly, a quarterback controversy for Oklahoma State between Clint Shelf and J.W. Walsh. That lasted basically until the end of the first quarter of the first game. We called that game against Mississippi State. J.W. Walsh took the bull by the horns, and he has not let go.
You know, he ran with that opportunity. And he brings a different dimension to this offense. It's his legs. I mean, he gives them the ability to have an extra running back there. If you've seen Oklahoma State over the years, you know, throw it, rip it, and throw it. Now they've got option. They can run it with the quarterback.
They'll run it on first down, and not much there for Jeremy Smith. He might have picked up a couple of yards before he was wrapped up by Jared Barber. Four-man rush on second and long underneath J.W. Walsh for about a handful more. Already, West Virginia has put Oklahoma State into 3rd down and 6.
You know, and you see the tempo. They are a hurry-up team at the line of scrimmage. But tempo doesn't help you when you're not making first downs.
As frustrated as the Mountaineer fans have been with their offense, they are that enthusiastic about their defense. The defense has played well. And they bring a blitz on 3rd down. Walsh in trouble, flips it left, and it's incomplete with a flag down. Josh Stewart was the intended receiver.
Personal foul, face mask, number 26 defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's Travis Bell, cornerback, that they flagged for the personal foul there.
So Dana Holgerson's team had to get something going early, you would think, to get some momentum off of the loss. A big shutout last week against Maryland, and what could have been a 3-and-out becomes a penalty and a first down near midfield. Double screen. Jawan Seals gets popped hard after a gain of 9. Darwin Cook came up to make the stop, 2nd down and 1.
You know, Shu, what Walsh does at the line of scrimmage, he has an option on every play to run it or throw it. He checks the number of guys in the box to decide whether to run it or throw it.
Trying to turn the corner, Jeremy Smith. He's got a first down. And now a flag thrown where you think it might go against Oklahoma State.
Holding, number 75 offense, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
So Chris Grisby gets the holding penalty that backs up Oklahoma State to 2nd down and 11. And now Desmond Rowland in a tailback to the right of J.W. Walsh. Four-man rush. Walsh tucks it under, breaks a tackle, and leaps forward for maybe a yard, maybe a pair. And now it'll be 3rd down and 9 as Will Clark grabbed J.W. Walsh and pulled him down. And here goes that up-tempo for Oklahoma State.
West Virginia wants this kind of situation. They want to make Walsh one-dimensional.
Here comes the blitz. Walsh, hey, here goes that.
When you have a quarterback that can actually run the football and throw it, if you make him one-dimensional, take away his legs, and make him simply a pocket passer, now you can bring your pressure. You can do all the things you want, and that time they came with some pressure on the outside, bringing the blitz, and hitting it home.
Brandon Golson with his 3rd sack of the season. And on the hop, Dangerous play and maybe unnecessary for Ronald Carswell. So to the offense for the first time today, West Virginia, and for the first time as the starter, it's Clint Trickett. He, of course, transferred from Florida State, thinking not only would he have a chance, but might be the favorite to be the starter, and it was back and forth between Clint Trickett and Paul Millard through camp. Millard started the season. Then after 2 games, he was replaced by Ford Childress, the redshirt freshman who played last week and very poorly at that against Maryland, also injured his chest. So now it's Clint Trickett as the 3rd different starting quarterback through 5 games for West Virginia. Now Trickett in trouble on first down, loads underneath, and maintaining his footing is Jordan Thompson. And he is out across the 20, about 3 yards shy of a first down. Caleb Levy missed the tackle.
Dana Holgorsen is looking for a quarterback to take charge of this offense. I mean, he had Geno Smith for years, for heaven's sake. He wants a guy to take charge and run this offense.
Nothing up the middle for Charles Sims on 2nd down and 3, so it will be 3rd down and 3 for West Virginia.
The problem that Trickett had, he had 2 problems. 1, changing systems, learning the verbiage and being able to communicate that, and 2, holding the football too long. And Holgorsen has told him, simply grip it and rip it. Have fun. Don't worry about anything. Just relax and let it go.
Only 1 deep safety for Oklahoma State. 4 wide now for West Virginia. Cowboys rush 5. Trickett down the sideline. A bump out of bounds. That may be called uncatchable, but the flag comes out. Tyler Patman will get flagged for the force out on the near side, and that penalty will keep the drive alive for West Virginia.
Yeah, it's not so much the force out as it was he made contact while the ball was in the air. You know, unlike the NFL where you can only have contact in the first 5 yards, you can contact the receiver down the field as long as the ball's not in the air.
On 26, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
There's Patman, and he's still pushing. Now, ball's in the air. If the ball's not in the air, that's okay.
So a first down by penalty for West Virginia, and they will take any early signs that their offense can move the football, because last week they were inept offensively against Maryland. Out to about the 39-yard line goes Charles Sims. Well, Paul Millard started the season. His 2nd game of the year came against Oklahoma. He was 21 of 41 with an interception, and they only produced 1 touchdown in the game. And Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator, said he was really disappointed with their quarterback play in that game. That prompted a switch to Ford Childress, the redshirt freshman, the following week. Trickett buying some time. Launches one deep. It's a jump ball. Trying to run under it is Ivan McCartney. And he can't catch up as Trickett takes a shot deep. Kevin Peterson was there in coverage. Well, Ford Childress then starts 2 weeks ago against Georgia State, and obviously against Georgia State looks great, throws 3 touchdown passes. But last week against Maryland, 6 turnovers, 2 of those interceptions, only 62 yards passing.
What's he doing in uniform?
And West Virginia was shut out for the first time in 151 games, and he had a slight pull or tear of his pectoral muscle. So he's out today, and it's Clint Trickett that becomes starting quarterback number 3. And Trickett on a rollout on 3rd down. Might tuck it under and trying to run for it. Does, and gets caught from behind, and now West Virginia will have to kick it away.
You can see the speed of this Oklahoma State defense, and over the years, the offense has gotten all the attention. But there is so much more speed, and this defense is so much more physical than it has been, that having a mobile quarterback is a necessity when you play Oklahoma State.
The question you asked about Ford Childress, though, was a fair one. We were told he was not even going to dress. He is in uniform and in pads, but he is not expected to have any chance to play today, as the fair catch is made back at the 15-yard line by Josh Stewart. So a 44-yard punt. The team's trading punts to start. Still scoring. A long time since they've seen their offense even struggle, much less get shut out. this is a very important game, and we were struck by that talking to Dana Holgorsen yesterday to this program.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of frustration. They seem to have that sense that, you know, maybe the season is hanging in the balance. The defense has been great. The offense hasn't come around, and if you lose too many more ball games, you could really hit a bad stretch. So this is a critical game for West Virginia.
A jet sweep to Stewart. And he is very close to an Oklahoma State first down, a gain of nearly 10. He'll be marked about a half-yard shy, so second down and short.
Well, again, the theme for the West Virginia defense is to try and take away the running lanes of the quarterback and make him this.
J.W. Walsh up the seam, and it's an errant throw intended for Tracy Moore. Had him open, but threw it high and wide, so now it's third down and a yard. And there is a sense, even though West Virginia lost their opening Big 12 game, they lost at Oklahoma. For both of these programs, it's kind of like a second opening day all around college football.
Absolutely.
Because the lion's share of conference play begins today. And this, of course, is the first conference game for Oklahoma State. Third down and a yard. Brought down behind the line, Jeremy Smith. No, and a keeper, it's J.W. Walsh. The crowd was fooled, so was I. Great fake by Walsh. And that will be a first down.
Now, I want to go back to your point about conference play. I mean, the intriguing thing about conference play is that you get upsets because you know your conference opponents so much better than your non-conference opponents.
And with the coaching crossover between these two programs, none more so than this matchup today. Losing the football is Walsh. That time he held on to the belly option just a little too long and had to recover his own muff. And that's a loss of a couple.
And keep in mind, this offense that Oklahoma State is running, it's the offense Dana Holgorsen installed there.
Dana Holgorsen, of course, was the offensive coordinator for 1 year back in 2010 on Mike Gundy's staff, and then came to West Virginia. Second down and 12. A little tunnel screen to Stewart. He gets loose. Josh Stewart in the open field. Can they catch him? He gets a block. The official creates a screen, and Stewart tiptoes into the end zone for an Oklahoma State touchdown.
Now watch this tunnel screen. Great block by 87 Tracy Moore, which was the one that opened things up inside for Stewart. Oh, help from the official down the way doesn't hurt. Marcel Aitman also showing up with a good block. When you have your wide receivers blocking downfield on that, that's how you get the big plays.
Exactly the defensive breakdown as well that West Virginia, as much as their offense is struggling, couldn't afford. It deflates the crowd and gets the Cowboys up by a touchdown as we approach the midway point of the first quarter. Lots of room for Josh Stewart, and once he's in the open field, he's tough to catch.
Oh, he's got the speed and quickness and a little help from Mr. Official. Gets it
ready for this game yesterday.
True.
That's what our crew is out doing.
Having fun.
Zip-lining through the forest here at West Virginia. Like right now, Dave Pasch and Brian Greasy are calling the South Carolina UCF game over on ABC. Are there pictures of their crew like going down Splash Mountain?
I think you want to hand out some fines.
I think the Kangaroo Court should absolutely throw some fines around. We're working hard. They're out rock climbing, zip lining.
It's good to be them.
And some of them were tailgating this morning while we were up here working hard. Returnable on a short hop, and that could be some trouble for Carswell. And he will get bottled up at the 15-yard line as he misjudged a ball he could have caught on the dead run at about the 3. Speaking of the dead run, that's what we had a moment ago for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, pretty good execution. Let's just take a look at the blocking you see in here. And when you get great blocking like this, here and here, you're going to get lanes. And when you make a free safety miss in the open field, now Darwin Cook's got to make that play 25. Bad angle and gets just juked by Stewart. And as I said, having an official down the last 15 yards help you out, that's okay too.
A lead blocker in a striped shirt never hurts. And now the pressure goes back on Clint Trickett. Graduate student from Florida State in 3 years. So he has 2 years of eligibility left here at West Virginia. And a little shovel pass on the end around of Mario Alford picks up about 3 as we go back to Reese Davis.
All right, guys, time for a Dr. Pepper 10 conference update. This is the SEC and the American UCF taking the lead on South Carolina. What do you think of that? Storm Johnson goes in for the touchdown. Blake Bortles, 5 of 6 for 51 yards on the drive.
All right, Reese, draw play on 2nd down and 7. Sims makes a man miss. No, he doesn't. Gets out to the 21-yard line, but that's a nice job by Caleb Levy, the leading tackler for Oklahoma State, one-on-one against Charles Sims, who can be elusive in space.
Look, I don't want to say that the game is in the balance right now, because it's not, but West Virginia needs something positive to happen. Otherwise, you don't pick this thing up with momentum. Oklahoma State could start getting on a run here.
Four-man rush on 3rd and 4. Trick it down the sideline, looking for the big play, and instead it'll be a big play the other way. An interception intended for Ronald Carswell, but Justin Gilbert gets the pick. That's his 2nd of the year, and that really turns the tables for Oklahoma State.
He won that battle. This is single-up coverage. Justin Gilbert, man-on-man, and all he does is take control over it. This is as good as you can make it on the outside if you're a corner playing a receiver. Trickett finds it right away, single coverage. Look, he's got him boxed in to the corner. The ball is underthrown inside, which allows Justin Gilbert to make the pick, but he had fantastic coverage on the entire play.
And the turnover nightmares continue for West Virginia. They are now -5 on the season. That is their 12th lost turnover. 8 fumbles and 4 interceptions in their first 4+ games.
Now, in sudden change situations like this, their defense has been good, but not on the first play. On the first play, they tend to give something up, and then they settle in.
Let's see if Mike Yursich and Mike Gundy dial up a deep shot after the turnover near midfield. J.W. Walsh will do just that. Deep shot to the sideline, incomplete, no one home. Tracy Moore tripped up as he tried to get to the sideline. Let's check in for the first time with Quinn.
Here we go again. If you're a Mountaineer fan, you were at this game early and energized coming off that 37-point loss to Maryland. Very positive, but you got to be asking yourself, here we go again. Confidence on offense is lacking right now, and it seems like Dana Holgerson's troops just pressing and looking to make a magical play, but none exists.
And Quint, they look to their defense to try and turn it back, as confidence for them offensively non-existent right now. J.W. Walsh floats one to the sideline, and there's the defense making a big play. A takeaway for the Mountaineers. Ishmael Banks in the open field. He's got a convoy. Down the sideline. Pylon, is he in? Knocked out of bounds at the 2. Looks like they might rule it a touchdown.
Ickey Banks is at the top of the screen, and this ball was thrown in between 2 receivers. It looked like Walsh was deciding to get it a little deeper, and Banks just came off and picked it up. And yesterday they told us the defense has been playing well, but they got to do more. They got to score. And there you go. 58-yard pick 6.
There was a disagreement on the part of the officials. One official said he was out of bounds at about the 2.5-yard line, while we were showing the celebration in the end zone of the West Virginia players. Another official came over after a conference. It was a late signal, and they ruled it a touchdown. And now they will go to the replay booth to determine which is the right call.
Well, remember, you need indisputable evidence to overturn it. And from that first replay we saw, it looked like he stepped inbounds and then went airborne and got inside the pylon with the football. Touchdown. I think they will confirm what we just saw.
Again, there was disagreement on the part of the 2 officials.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
That is a touchdown, as the precedent was set, and then they're not only saying that the call was right on the field, but that the video showed indisputably that it was right. So not only does West Virginia get the takeaway, they score on defense, and they're a point after away from tying things up.
How about that yesterday? We're talking to the coaching staff and praising their defense, and they said, well, we got to do more. We got to score. I mean, it's not enough just to hold them out. We got to put points on the board, and that's exactly what they've done.
Patterson, when talking about whether or not the struggles of the offense were discouraging his defense, he said, not only is it our goal to set up one score, it's our goal to set up 2 scores per game, because how much... There have been times this year where the West Virginia defense has been not just good, but real good. They almost single-handedly won the game for their inept offense back on September 7th at Oklahoma.
Yeah, they played great against Oklahoma, had a chance to win that game. And then last week against West Virginia, I mean, that 37-0 score, I mean, 21 points came by way of ineptitude by the offense. A pick 6, and then a couple of turnovers that put them inside the 10 where you're trying to play defense, and you give up 2 scores.
I remember you telling me this week after watching the Maryland tape, there really was no more misleading final score in college football last week than that game in terms of how a group may or may not have played, as a delayed decision to bring it out of the end zone. And Justin Gilbert gets out close to the 20-yard line. Saturday Night Football on ABC tonight, presented by Windows. The nation's longest win streak on the line as Urban Meyer's undefeated 4th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes will take on number 23 Wisconsin. Saturday Night Football tonight on ABC, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Upset alert.
Really?
Upset alert.
You thought today was maybe the day of upset alert all around college football.
Yeah, a lot of conference games. You know your opponent pretty well. You've got history. You know the personnel. Not surprised if there are a bunch of upsets today. I'm calling for about 3 of them.
J.W. Walsh on the read right up the middle. And he runs into a wall of gold jerseys after a 7-yard gain. Kyle Rose got pushed off the line of scrimmage, but he was able to make the tackle, 2nd and 3.
When Walsh goes to the line of scrimmage, first he looks for the safeties. Now he's counting how many defenders are within the area close enough to the line of scrimmage. If they're 5 or 6, he likes a running play.
And it is a running play to Jeremy Smith. It'll be 3rd down and about 3. Darryl Worley, true freshman from Philadelphia, came up and held the edge, and now the crowd will really start to get involved here at Mountaineer Field. 3rd down and 4. Blitz comes. Walsh running for his life. Tripped up and somehow gets it away, avoiding the sack. But Doug Rigg timed his blitz perfectly up the middle. And after the pick 6, OSU goes 3 downs and out.
So they have 7 guys in the box. They see what they're looking at the quarterback there. They've got eyes on him. They know that he's going to drop back because with 7 in the box, they really don't want to run the football.
End over end punt. Carswell makes the fair catch. Pretty good field position now for the Mountaineers at their own 35. Well, for Dana Holgorsen, this is uncharted waters. An offense that's struggling. He wins 15 of his first 18 games, and they put up tremendous offensive numbers. Not only did they win the Big East back in 2011, but they rout Clemson in a BCS game in the Orange Bowl. And with Geno Smith last season, start the year 5-0, and it's been tough times ever since. It ended in the Pinstripe Bowl with a pretty lopsided loss to Syracuse, and now with Geno Smith gone this year, the offense struggling. And a tipped ball on the screen attempt almost results in a carom turnover. James Castleman for Oklahoma State had a chance on the deflection. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Geno Smith gone, Tavon Austin gone, Stedman Bailey, and more importantly, they have about 40-45% new players on their roster this year. A lot of JC transfers and trying to get guys acclimated.
Low throw by Trickett, intended for Thompson. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Well, and Trickett wasn't here for spring practice. He transferred in late, so he is still learning the offense and not completely comfortable with it.
That was the biggest stumbling block, we were told by Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator, and Dana Holgorsen. Communication, just getting the team lined up for Trickett. Now he's in trouble. Tries to dump one underneath, and it's incomplete. Intended for DeKeel Shorts. He was hit by Lindell Johnson. So 3 downs and out for the West Virginia offense, something that Dana Holgorsen has seen all too often.
Well, this Oklahoma State defense gets overlooked. And we saw them against Mississippi State, and we were really impressed with their run defense, how tough and physical they were up front.
Nick O'Toole, the punter, has been a bright spot. This a wobbly, returnable kick, though, for Stewart from the 24. Gets a couple of blocks. And then eventually, with West Virginia trying to rip the ball out, gets to the 30-yard line. Darwin Cook hit him first after a 41-yard punt. Well, J.W. Walsh is now the unquestioned starter for Oklahoma State. He had to hold off Clint Shelf at the start of the year. We did the Mississippi State game that began Oak State's season. We knew both would play, but I'm not sure even Mike Gundy knew how quickly J.W. Walsh would establish himself as the guy.
Well, Shelf was the MVP of their bowl game, had a great season last year as he got his shot, veteran player. And I think a lot of people were surprised that he only was in for a couple of series. He threw 4 touchdown passes last year against West Virginia.
And that was his first start. Hand off to Desmond Rowland. He breaks free. Desmond Rowland finally hit from behind, but not before he crosses the 50-yard line. A gain of 22 on the ground for Oklahoma State.
One thing that Oklahoma State does is they stay with the rushing attack much more now than they did before.
Right up the middle. This time Rowland picks up about 2.5. Shaq Rowell is able to bring him down.
To me, Oklahoma State has really changed offensively because of Walsh. Because he runs and because they're more physical defense, they actually practice rushing and running inside more. They're more physical up front.
Play action for Walsh. Wants the deep one over the middle. That's tipped and almost intercepted. Good coverage by Darwin Cook.
Yeah, never should have thrown that one. He threw it exactly where Cook was waiting. I don't know if he didn't see him. This is Cook's view. You are Cook reading Walsh. That ball's coming right at
you. Since the touchdown on the screen to Josh Stewart, J.W. Walsh has missed on his last 4 attempts, including an interception. Now it's 3rd down and 8. Here comes the blitz. Walsh underneath. Can't beat the blitz. Good coverage. David Glidden was the intended receiver. It was broken up by Darryl Worley, so already we've seen the true freshman corner make a couple of big plays.
That's a smart play. You know the blitz is coming as a corner. You don't have to backpedal out of there. You know it's going to happen right away. Worley did exactly that, stood his ground and made the play. That is smart football.
As a former corner, it must be fun to play when you know the ball's coming out quick because the pass rush is getting there. And this is a poor punt. Went straight up in the air from Kip Smith, so this will give really good field position to West Virginia. Let's see where they spot the football. It looks like that is going to be a 16-yard punt. That's almost like a turnover. That's the equivalent of if J.W. Walsh had thrown that interception.
Is there something brewing here today? I'm deeming this upset alert Saturday.
We'll see. In order for it to be upset alert Morgantown, at some point West Virginia's going to have to get something going offensively. And Trickett, though, with good field position at his own 30-yard line. And they'll run it. Diving for about 3 yards is Dreamy Smith. Caleb Levy tripped him up. And there's Tara Trickett, Clint Trickett's mom, who has a variety of stadiums around college football to choose where to go. And she's here for the first start as a Mountaineer for her son, Clint. And it looks like Clint Trickett on a little dump off to the right flat. Moves the chains, a gain of 13. As that time a good read underneath to Charles Sims.
You mentioned the Trickett family. I think that includes Florida State.
Florida State is in the mix. As her husband, and Rick Trickett, of course, the father of Clint, assistant on the offensive line at FSU. And that was an uncomfortable situation, according to Clint. That's why he wanted to come back to what he considers home to a certain extent here in Morgantown. And a low throw intended for Ronald Carswell, but a flag thrown in the offensive backfield.
Late hit. Late hit on Trickett and up pretty high.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 38 defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I think this might be more than just roughing. Watch the right arm at the end of this hit. Watch where it goes. That's a punch up at the chin.
That's a
There's nothing incidental about that. That's targeting.
On the end around is Tequil Shorts. And the freshman is able to pick up 5 to the 35.
I mean, we've had this targeting rule now, and when you intentionally take a shot above the numbers, that's targeting. So under these rules, it should be more than just a personal foul. It should be an ejection. I'm not a fan of ejecting guys during the game, but the rule is stated that way.
It was not ruled targeting by the officials on the field, just an unnecessary roughness roughing penalty and a personal foul. And now Trickett stares down the blitz and wants the deep ball. He's got a man. Does he drop it in? It is dropped. Ivan McCartney had it in his hands. Kevin Peterson was there in coverage. Did Peterson get a hand in and knock it away? From McCartney's reaction, it looks like he realized he missed a big chance.
Oh, he dropped it in perfectly. Good effort at the end by Peterson to get it out and not give up on the play, but McCartney's got to make that catch.
Clint Trickett thought he had.
Oh, well, Trickett hung in there and took a hit to deliver that.
3rd down and 5 after what should have been a touchdown. Trickett, swing pass, right flat, wide open, Charles Sims. He's got a first down and more. And West Virginia's in the red zone.
I think that Trickett is starting to get a little feel and flow. Maybe getting hit in the mouth made him feel pretty good.
Well,
and Sims,
if they can get the ball to Charles Sims in space, that's a big advantage.
He's an NFL prospect.
Trickett starting to get into a little bit more of a rhythm. Kevin Peterson with a heavy hit on Ronald Carswell, but that's still a 5-yard gain on first down, and now tempo for the Mountaineers. And they might catch Oklahoma State with too many men on the field. Cowboys rush off the field. 7th play of the drive. Tripped up in the backfield is Sims. He goes down. Nice play by James Castleman. Now it'll be 3rd down and long.
And Sims is still a viable option down here. We talked about him and being an NFL prospect. He's a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can also line up as a receiver. They take him out now, but he's a matchup issue. But they go with more wideouts down here.
3rd down and 9. And now it's Wendell Smallwood, a true freshman from Wilmington, Delaware, in as the running back. Here comes the blitz. End zone. Bobbled. Held on to. Caught. Kevin White. Touchdown, Mountaineers.
The moment Trickett went to the line of scrimmage, he knew he had single coverage out there, and White does a good job of getting inside of Gilbert. The only question was he going to hang on to it? And he did.
Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator for West Virginia, told us yesterday that Kevin White is one of the most talented receivers he's been around, but for some reason it just hasn't clicked. Maybe they were putting too much pressure on him. They wanted to get him in spots with a lead. Bob Wischusen here with Rod Gilmore and Quinn Kesnick. It's a gold rush on a Saturday in Morgantown. And the Mountaineers have their crowd behind them.
Yeah,
Desmond Rowland takes a knee.
The 2 touchdowns woke him up.
Let's go back to Reese Davis.
Guys, when South Carolina agreed to play at UCF, one of the reasons they didn't want to pay an opponent $1 million to come in, this could be even costlier. They're behind in the game. Connor Shaw's left the game with a sprained right shoulder. UCF with a 7-0 lead as they head to the second quarter on ABC.
Upset alert
Saturday. Wow, and it's early on.
Well, Oklahoma State with the football already for the 6th time here in the first quarter, and they only have 7 points on the board. Desmond rolling, bottled up. 2nd down and 11 coming.
Remember, we talked about how Walsh runs so well, and West Virginia wanted to take that away and make him a pocket passer. Well, so far so good with that approach. Started off 3 for 4. He's missed his last 5 in a row.
Crease this time for Rowland. Across the 30, close to the 32, it will be 3rd down and 3.
You know, 2nd and long, you think, oh, they're going to throw the ball, but West Virginia invited them to run because they spread out their defense. Look at all the guys. Look at all the holes you got in here. You got a lot of room up front, and they took advantage of it. They're looking to see how many guys are defending the run.
4-man rush, tipped ball, and it's incomplete. Could have been disastrous again for Oklahoma State. Ishmael Banks almost came up with his 2nd pick here in the first quarter. Another 3 and out. You think these West Virginia fans appreciate their defense?
I think Mike Gundy's a little bit concerned that he has no rhythm to his offense right now.
The 4th punt of the first quarter for Oklahoma State. This one much better. Carswell calls for a fair catch back at his 17-yard line. College football primetime on ESPN, presented by Hampton Hotels, kicks off at 6:30 tonight. Number 1 Alabama and A.J. McCarron squaring off with Bo Wallace and number 21 Ole Miss. College football primetime on ESPN tonight at 6:30. Also live on Watch ESPN. Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Not a very easy team to beat, but I saw on game day today several times it was mentioned that Alabama might be a team that has to look over their shoulder.
Nope, no upset alert on that one for me. Young team on the road, don't like it.
Trickett back to work. He wants another deep ball. Incomplete. Ivan McCartney shallowed off his route at about the 40-yard line, and that one floated to midfield.
They can take those shots because Oklahoma State believes in their corners. They play a lot of man-to-man coverage out there. They dare you to beat them deep. And so West Virginia is saying, well, if you're going to dare us, we're going to take some shots at it.
Dana Holgorsen and his offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson both said yesterday that last week against Maryland was the first game they could ever remember being involved in where literally nothing went right on offense from the first gun to the final whistle. Trickett looks one off and comes underneath, and Da'Keil Shorts, the freshman, pays the price after picking up 3 as Sean Lewis stood his ground. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter. They are optimistic for the first time this season here in Morgantown. It started off quickly with a tunnel screen touchdown to Josh Stewart.
Spent some time with him yesterday telling us that the greatest strength in his game was the ability and willingness to throw the deep ball. We've seen that so far. Mobility is also a plus, and he's played in big games. Remember when he was with Florida State, he started at Clemson and started at Wake Forest. He feels very comfortable in his skin.
Facing 3rd down and 7 here, though, to start the second quarter. Only a 3-man rush. He's got all kinds of time. There's the deep ball into double coverage, and it's 1. Charles Sims, the running back, beats double coverage. Trickett drops it in, and not only is that a 3rd down conversion, it's a gain of 38 yards.
Well, we talked about Sims and his NFL potential as a running back, and part of the reason is he is also a wide receiver. You can split him out like that, and he can make plays.
Time it's Sims on the dive for a yard. Brian Simmons made the tackle for the Pokes. It is a nervous day if you're the mom watching your son start, and not often has Tara Trickett watched Clint start games, as he was the backup to E.J. Manuel. Got chances at Florida State, and here he helps himself out on the scramble And a gain of 3. But Rod, what you talked about earlier with Clint Trickett, and it was what Dana Holgorsen said yesterday, he's a better reactor than he is a thinker. They've tried to squeeze 3 years of offense into a couple of months with him, and now they've gotten to the point where Dana Holgorsen, I told him, just go out there, react and play football. Stop thinking so much.
Rip it and rip it. You know, and trying to lose 3 years of Florida State offense and then cram this one in a matter of weeks, tough deal.
Another third down, trying to keep the drive alive. Running play goes nowhere. Dreamus Smith driven back. And now not only is it 4th down, but it's closer to the 40-yard line. 4th down and 8. Caleb Levy knifed through and made the tackle. And rather than go for it, that will bring the punt group out.
That's a big play. And Caleb Levy, you know, was the Big 12 player of the week that opening week when he had 11 tackles against Mississippi State. And he is a really good player inside.
Dana Holgorsen is hot at his offensive line, as after the 38-yard bomb, they give the ball right back. Change field position as a fair catch called for and made by Josh Stewart inside the 10-yard line. And Oklahoma State has to be an eye-opening score as it starts to circulate around the country that Mike Gundy's team down by a touchdown and struggling on offense outside of one big play.
Well, the good news is they've run 22 plays. The bad news is they haven't gotten many yards. If you back out that 73-yard touchdown catch and run, only 58 yards on 21 plays.
And J.W. Walsh has missed on his last 6 pass attempts, including an interception since the touchdown. They'll start on the ground here and getting thrown back as Smith. Doug Rigg starting in place of Nick Kwiatkowski, who is the leading tackler this year for West Virginia, out today with a hamstring. So without Kwiatkowski, Rigg gets the start and makes the stop. Underneath to Tracy Moore. And it will be 3rd down and 6 inside the 15-yard line for Oklahoma State.
One of the things that helps this West Virginia defense is they are quite familiar with this style of offense since Dana Holgorsen put it in. I mean, they see it every day in practice. So they're quite familiar with Oklahoma State's style.
Cowboys are 1 for 5 on 3rd down. This is a big one here. Try and run for it. No chance for Jeremy Smith. Conservative play calling from Mike Yurcich, the offensive coordinator, and Mike Gundy in their own end.
But remember, we talked about counting the box. Walsh looks at how many defenders are defending the run. And when he sees only 5 in there, his checks tell him to run the football.
Marvin Gross, true freshman. And now they're going to say that a timeout was called prior to the play. That's about the latest acknowledgement of a team-called timeout that I think we've seen. So still a chance for Oklahoma State on 3rd down when we come back after a quick break. And got a little hot over on the Oklahoma State sideline as we go down to Quint Kesnick about that last timeout.
Loud enough to make your ears ring. Mike Gundy did get the timeout through side judge Gene Semko, who was blowing his whistle. Problem is no one could hear it. It's so loud down here.
And it gets louder now. 2nd try on 3rd down and 6 after the timeout for Oklahoma State. Blitz coming. J.W. Walsh underneath, beats the blitz, and Josh Stewart makes a man miss. Tripped up out to the 30-yard line. What a big 3rd down conversion that is for the Cowboys. And a gain of 17, and now they want to go fast.
Yards after the catch. Stewart made a guy miss. Got the 1st down.
Late substitution for West Virginia as well. And Jeremy Smith lost the football. Is that ruled a fumble, or was he down by contact? It looks as if the officials are saying down at the 29-yard line as Brandon Gulson got the hit, knocked the ball free, but Smith was down.
2nd down.
Well, here's a replay.
Was the ball out, and now
Previous
replay
wins under further review.
has been instituted as the review booth upstairs buzzes down to the sideline. Now, if the ball does come free, even if he was ruled down, if there is clear recovery of a fumble, even on a play that has been blown dead by the opposition. That is reviewable, and West Virginia could end up with the football if the booth determines that the ball was coming out before his knee was down.
And that's the critical issue, the knee. And it looks like it's the left knee we should be looking at. Is that left knee down before the ball comes out? Left knee down, now he's losing the ball. He doesn't have control over it, but that's after his knee is down. I think they're probably going to stay with it.
You have to go almost super slow-mo. Now, the left knee right there, it looks like there's a crack of daylight, not down. Would you say that at that exact split-second moment the ball is loose?
Yeah, but you know what? If you're an official on the field looking at this, there's no way you get that.
But that might be enough for the replay booth to say that the ball is sideways in his arm.
He is
it's starting to come loose, and that his knee was not down. If that turns out to be the call, you want to talk about a momentum swing. One play after Oklahoma State gets the third down conversion and gets out of their own end, at least out close to the 30-yard line. This would be a plus territory turnover for the Mountaineers.
You know how slow you have to slow that down and freeze that to get that little crack of space right before his knee touches the ground.
This place is going to come apart at the seams if they overturn this call, and it ends up in West Virginia's hands. But again, the video has to be indisputable. So if after the precedent is set down by contact on the field, unless they review in the booth that ball is clearly coming free, Oklahoma State will hold on to it.
Yeah, he's losing control of the ball. That much is clear. And in real time, it looks like his knee touches before he loses control.
Here's another look.
When you stop it just before the knee hits, you know, you see a little bit of space and the ball's starting to move. And to me, that's not enough, but I wouldn't be surprised if they overturn this. I mean, when you freeze out there, you say there's a little bit of space and he's losing the ball.
I think it's a fumble.
Yeah, I don't think you could ever call that in real time. The only way you could call that is by freezing that right there and seeing that little crevice before his knee touches the ground. So, yeah, I think you're right. They're probably going to call it a fumble. That's just so hard. I don't know how you could ever call that on the field.
Brandon Golson knocked it out. Isaiah Bruce recovered it if it's ruled a fumble. And sometimes the review takes this long because now they have to determine where the ball may have been recovered and get it spotted on the field correctly, and also get the clock adjusted to the right time.
Yeah.
And I would think
right.
this is like you're a lawyer. Sometimes you want to read into how long the jury's out. The jury being out for a long time right now might be bad for Oklahoma State.
We saw clearly that the knee had not touched the ground by that freeze frame.
After further review, the ball came out before the runner was down. First down, West Virginia at the 29. Please
another Oklahoma State turnover.
Yeah, 43.
It's the right call. We saw the frozen picture of the knee not quite on the ground. It's just that's a hard call to make on the field. I don't think you could ever call that on the field. You can only do that with replay.
Well, the Cowboys certainly have not hurt themselves with turnovers before today. But now 2 giveaways. One was a defensive score on a pick 6, and now deep in Oklahoma State territory, West Virginia starts on offense with a chance to extend their lead.
They'll be looking for single coverage if they can get it, and if they get it, they will take shots like they've had.
Play action for Trickett. He has single coverage in the end zone. Knocked away. And that single coverage was good coverage from the senior Justin Gilbert.
Now, when you have a guy that can play man-to-man coverage like that, you can trust him. You can keep putting him out there on the island. Look at this coverage. He gets the nice little shiver forearm to slow him down, to redirect him some, and stay step for step with him, and then finds the football. You cannot play it any better than that. 9
passes broken up last year for Justin Gilbert. Already 2 interceptions this season. Second down run for Dreamus Smith. A gain of 2. And now 3rd down and 8. And you can make an argument that even from here, West Virginia's not even yet in field goal range. So this is a big play for the defense for Oklahoma State.
Well, and it may very well be 2-down territory if you're not comfortable with the notion of a 45 to 47-yard field goal.
Justin Gilbert off the field, may have tweaked his ankle on that last play.
It doesn't look like single coverage, though.
3rd down and 8. Trickett steps up in the pocket, buys some time. Floats one into traffic, and it's broken up. Da'Keil Short's the intended receiver, but great timing by Daytwan Lowe, the free safety, to come up and knock it away. And now, what do you do? So far this season, Josh Lambert, redshirt freshman kicker, 3 of 5 field goal attempts with a long of 42, and it looks like they are going to try from 45.
Well, this is stretching him, and so defensively you think be alert for a fake. I mean, your scouting report tells you that this is really at the edge of where he can kick it, and so you think about being alert.
Play clock's winding down as they're late to get set up. They might want to call a timeout here, and it looks like that's what Dana Holgorsen will do. Dana Holgorsen called that timeout before Josh Lambert got the kick away, so they will have another try from 45 yards.
West Virginia. They're first of the half.
Will West Virginia stick to their guns and leave the field goal unit out there? Might they Virginia trying to extend to a 2-score lead, and right even after the timeout from 45 yards away, Dana Holgorsen leaves the field goal group out there.
I like it. I think after a turnover, you have to try to get points. It's a free possession, so you want to try to get points.
Lambert from 45 has it online. That would have been good from a lot further. That might have been good from 55. So the redshirt freshman with a new career long, and it's a 2-score lead for West Virginia.
Remember, they had the fumble, so they got the ball in the plus territory, couldn't move it. It's a free possession, and if you think your kicker can make it, that's a free 3 points you otherwise would not have had.
And the way their defense is playing in Big 12 games, certainly the history between these two schools, as brief as it is, field goals don't normally help you. But a field goal might help you today, as now it's a 10-point lead, and it's time now for our Aflac trivia question. Aflac. And this is a good one. This will explain the offensive exodus here at West Virginia. Last year on this weekend, the Mountaineers totaled 807 yards against Baylor. How many of those yards belong to active players in today's game?
Okay. Well, we know Geno Smith is gone.
Tavon Austin is gone.
And Stedman Bailey's gone.
Stedman Bailey's gone. West Virginia, line drive kickoff. And this is returnable from a couple of yards deep for Stewart. And he weaves his way out to about the 25-yard line as we go back to Reese.
Gentlemen, it is time for an innovative look brought to you by AT&T. Tonight on ABC, Ohio State and Wisconsin. Braxton Miller's going to get the start for Urban Meyer. Now, this is a game last year against Nebraska. Look how they used formations to get the numbers in their favor and let Braxton Miller do what he does best, run the football. We'll see how old Bucky Badger has to deal with that tonight on ABC.
That will be an electric atmosphere. And we have a pretty good atmosphere right now here in Morgantown. This is the 14th different possession between the two offenses combined. Neither team has had the ball for more than 2 minutes and 41 seconds on any of those possessions. So it has been back and forth. J.W. Walsh, a little slant underneath. Breaking tackles is David Glidden, but might have lost a yard or two after his initial reception close to the 30-yard line. They'll give him forward progress for a gain of about 5.
West Virginia has done a nice job on first and second down of showing kind of a zone look, and like they have few guys in the box, and then they actually attack the box so that they can handle the rushing attack.
Stewart, the motion man. Walsh fakes it to him and comes to the near side. And runs out of bounds close to a first down.
That's good.
And it looks like he will be marked right at the first down marker, as Darwin Cook couldn't bring him down in the open field. So that is a first down for the Cowboys.
How about Dana Holgorsen recruiting Walsh out of high school when Holgorsen was at Oklahoma State? He said, I liked him because he was a winner. He just made things happen.
No one home on the slant. Jawan Seals went inside. The pass went outside. Jawan Seals only a redshirt freshman, but he has been the player that has flashed signs through the first 3 weeks for Oklahoma State. If I could read lips, I think he said "my bad" to J.W. Walsh, so it's 2nd down and 10. This time, the pass is on time to Josh Stewart. And the veteran junior receiver picks up about 8. It will be 3rd down and 2.
Up tempo. No chance to change substitute defense.
On a keeper, it's Walsh. He's got the 1st down and then some. Tiptoes down the sideline and picks up another 7 or 8 yards to the 44-yard line of West Virginia.
Yeah, nothing fancy about it. That's the old read option. He just fakes the ball in, reads the end, and gets a good block on the edge by his receiver, Charlie Moore, number 17.
Walsh with a pump fake. Down the sideline. What a great ball fake that was by Walsh to find Stewart again. And Josh Stewart well over 100 yards receiving already. That's 15 more.
It helps when you take one 73 yards on a screen pass for a touchdown.
And now a timeout called by West Virginia on defense.
Timeout, West Virginia. Their 2nd of the half. Full timeout. Correction. 30-second timeout.
So we have an opportunity now to quickly answer our Aflac trivia question. A lot of offensive production last season for West Virginia. And if we go back to this weekend last year, how many of the yards of the 807 total yards last year against Baylor belong to active players still in today's game for the Mountaineers?
I can't think of one.
Might be 0.
I can't think of who it would be.
16. Jordan Thompson had 16 yards worth of receptions last season. And outside of that, their top 4 receivers for West Virginia are 3 junior college transfers and Dakeil Shorts, who's a freshman. And their top 2 running backs are both transfers as well, as is, obviously, Clint Trickett, the quarterback. 7th play of the drive for Oklahoma State after the timeout. Walsh keeps it himself and picks up 2. Jared Barber was there to make the tackle.
Well, clearly this drive, the thing that's helped Oklahoma State has been the read option, which they hadn't been using much earlier in the ball game. All the other running plays were attacked. Now they're getting Walsh more involved with this read option, and he's been effective.
Walsh up the seam, wide open. Moore into the end zone. Goes Tracy Moore for the touchdown. First touchdown catch this year for Tracy Moore, but the 13th of his career, and that's a great answer on that drive by Oklahoma State. And now the field goal after the turnover is all that separates these two teams.
Well, they just lost sight of Tracy Moore on the inside as he comes across the inside, fakes like he's going to block. Hey, you're fooled. He gets 6, and Oklahoma State right back in it now, 17-14.
For West Virginia.
How about Walsh on that drive? That was a 76-yard drive, and he accounted for all those yards, 55 yards passing, 21 on the ground.
Carswell will take a knee. Well, Oklahoma State is not only trying to win on the road today, but they're trying to win amid well-publicized allegations in that 5-part series reported by Sports Illustrated that alleged cash payment to players. Some of those payments supposedly made by Joe DeForest, who's now on the coaching staff here at West Virginia. Strong denials from Les Miles, Mike Gundy, and Joe DeForest, multiple former players as well. Before the game, we even saw Joe DeForest out on the field having a conversation with Glenn Spencer, the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma State. And we talked at length this week with Mike Gundy about what the climate is around the Cowboy program in the aftermath of that report, as Charles Sims picks up about 2 yards. And Mike Gundy said it was a distraction really a couple of weeks ago, but he feels as if there have been so many discrepancies from those that have talked about the reporting done by Sports Illustrated that he feels it's faded away and is not nearly the distraction that it used to be. Trickett, another deep ball down the sideline, underthrown, and a flag comes out. Ronald Carswell, the intended receiver, and Trickett hit in the backfield again.
Pass interference, number 1 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, shoot, just to follow up on that issue, you take a look at this view, though. Watch the hit on Trickett. That's a legitimate, fair hit, nothing wrong with that, but it was pass interference down the field. But to follow up on the Sports Illustrated article, I mean, we don't know if those things are true or not, but we do know this. We know that the criticism that came about for that article has been widespread and largely outside of Stillwater. And a lot of folks in the media have questioned the credibility of the story.
Screen to the near side to DeKeel Shorts, and he's near midfield. Picks up 7 on first down.
And I think part of the reason a lot of folks questioned it was because of the lack of documentation for some of the allegations. And then it was followed shortly thereafter by the Yahoo report against claiming payments to certain players in the SEC. And that report was hailed as being the way you do it, and with lots of documentation of things that allegedly were done wrong.
Knocked down on the pass intended for Kevin White. Ryan Simmons back in his zone coverage, read it beautifully, so now it's 3rd down and 3. And Mike Gundy said that he really hasn't had to come out and issue a number of strong denials over and over again, because he said he has a 3-ring binder of all the tweets, Facebook posts, support from players, people with their program and outside the program that have refuted the story.
They've hired an investigator, and the NCAA has assigned one, so we'll know something down the line on this.
3rd down and 3. Wide open up the seam. Nice read by Trickett as he finds Cody Clay sneaking in between the numbers. And that's a 3rd down conversion and a gain of 9.
I think Trickett sort of got his sea legs once he got hit in the mouth. You know, back in the first quarter when he took a shot up high, I think that kind of settled him down. Oh, it's football. I taste some blood, huh?
Nice job to handle what was nearly an errant shotgun snap. And Caleb Levy brings down Sims after a gain of 1. Well, you talked about the hits that Clint Trickett has already taken in this game. And the second hit that you'll see here was the penalty on the shot under the chin by Emmanuel Ogba.
Yeah, that one should have been an ejection from the ball game under the rules. But he's been hit an awful lot. He's not the biggest quarterback in the world, but he certainly is tough.
Reaction for Trickett. Floats a deep ball again. This one's a jump ball and a bad decision. He was looking for Kevin White, and Tyler Patman plays center field and catches what looked like a punt by the time it came down inside the 10-yard line.
That may be the easiest pick that Patman will ever get. He was in great position, but this was a punt. I mean, Patman does a great job on coverage down there, has his receiver blanketed, and then looked up and went, really? Really? This ball's right in front. Really?
That's the first career interception for Tyler Patman.
Yeah, they won't be any easier than that.
West Virginia certainly disappointed that a drive that a moment ago was kept alive with a 3rd down conversion. Short circuits with no points, but at the very least they have changed field position after the touchback. Now we get the diamond formation and the backfield for Oklahoma State from inside their own 10. Walsh on a keeper, tries to turn the corner. There's not much there. Picked up a yard. Darwin Cook ran him out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and long.
I do like that diamond formation. Normally it gives you 8 blockers against 8 defenders, so you can run the ball. But if they overplay the receivers, you know, and zone it, now you've got a blocking advantage. Usually 8 blockers against 7 defenders.
Second down and a long 9, close to 10 for the Cowboys. Was that an induced false start? Or did the ball flinch?
He did it. Everybody points fingers. I love it.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
It's Kyle Rose, who's at the center spot, 93. Keep your eye in the middle there. And he comes across and touches, and then he says, it wasn't me. It was the guy over there.
More manageable second down and 5 now. Play action for Walsh. Bullets one up the seam, and it's a first down to Tracy Moore.
They have found something inside with Tracy Moore in the slot position and working him in between the linebackers.
A gain of 17. Right up the middle. There's Desmond Rowland. Pulled down after a 3-yard gain by Rose and Clark.
And that throw over the middle is working because they understand that West Virginia does not want to play man coverage. So you're getting zone coverage, and they are finding the holes inside with those little direct routes inside there and throwing the ball quickly.
Walsh flushed out of the pocket. He pulls up, throws the deep ball, and it's underthrown. Wide open was Tracy Moore. And Walsh just didn't have the arm strength to get it to him for what could have been and probably should have been a touchdown.
That's been the one criticism of Walsh by Oklahoma State fans, that his arm strength is not what you have with other guys like Chelp, that he doesn't throw the same deep ball. And you see right there, Moore's wide open. He has to wait on that, and the play doesn't happen.
Carl Joseph had just enough time to recover on what should have been a Cowboy touchdown. So instead for Oklahoma State, they go from what should have been a score to third down and a long 6 with the play clock winding down. Will they get the play off? Down to 1. It goes to 0. And it looks like a timeout may have been called from the sideline unless the flag beat the timeout.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
So now it's third down and 11. Close to 12. Mike Gundy never looks flustered.
You know, despite the I'm a man rant and everything, he is really a very calm and cool guy, and it is raucous in here right now.
Four-man rush. Walsh, long throw to the sideline, and he had a man, but it's incomplete. It sailed over the head of Josh Stewart. So West Virginia gets the stop, and they'll get the ball back with a little under 5 minutes to go before halftime. A short punt. Carswell waves his teammates away, and what a great bounce it takes for West Virginia into plus territory. Kemp Smith hit a moon ball that spun backwards. That will go as a 13-yard punt after it's finally downed by the Cowboys.
If nothing went right for West Virginia last week against Maryland, they're getting a lot of things to go their way today.
The momentum swings in this first half have been incredible. Even, how about that last sequence? An interception thrown down inside the 10-yard line. Not only is Oklahoma State not able to score off of the turnover, but they give the ball back to West Virginia with a 13-yard punt. And here's Clint Trickett in plus territory again. And now Trickett fumbles the snap. That's loose. And does he get it back? It looks like he did. Did he have complete control? They whistle the play dead.
Yeah, they blew the whistle.
I'm not sure if he ever had control of the football, even though he was on the ground.
Well, he doesn't get it initially, but now he has control of it right there. And then there's the hit afterwards.
You sure?
Yeah, I think he picked it up and rolled back. But the problem for West Virginia is that they've got no rushing attack. They had 13 yards rushing on 12 carries. It's putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback.
Second down and 18. Trickett. He throws one down the sideline. Making the catch, Mario Alford. And he's knocked out of bounds inside the 15. They'll mark him out at the 11. Did he take a shot and still hold on to the football?
That ball was in the air an awful long time. It was in the air so long you had the feeling that there would be a defender coming over to make a play, but Dayton Lowe couldn't get there fast enough. Alford makes the catch.
First and 10 at the 11. Up the middle goes Sims. Spun down at the 8-yard line by Shamil Gary.
That's a good tackle. You know, we talked about the rushing attack and lack thereof, and if you don't have a rushing attack down here, now it puts pressure on you to make plays in the passing game on the edges. And do you have a guy that can beat the man-to-man coverage out there in short space here? That's a challenge down here. These corners have played great.
There should be no rush here for West Virginia as well, as they can take the game clock down. Trickett on a rollout. That might be a first down. It might be a touchdown. Did he reach the ball across the pylon? Marked down inside the 1. Cody Clay, just as importantly as making the catch, got it inside the 1. That should be first and goal for West Virginia.
Yep, good catch. Doesn't quite get it into the end zone inside the pylon. But now, do you have the rushing attack?
They may go to review to confirm.
Ruling on the field as the runner was out at the 1. Previous play is under further review.
And they will check and see if before he went down, did Cody Clay sneak the ball inside the pylon for what could be a touchdown. Knee down.
Knee down, ball not crossing the plane, the goal line yet, and not inside the pylon.
This will probably be a little bit better of a look.
Yeah, he's down there.
Probably a good call by the officials.
Yeah, it's a good call. Yeah, he was down and then extended the ball.
Now, this could be a blessing in disguise for West Virginia, because now, in spite of the fact that it's not a touchdown, the ball's inside the 1-yard line. It's still first and goal. And as quick strike an offense as Oklahoma State has, they might run a couple of plays here and take more time off the clock.
I don't think they're worried about that. I think they're trying to figure out how do you get this ball in there without having to throw it. You know, and Sims is a guy that you count on. I mean, he had a great rushing career at Houston before coming over here, and he's your biggest back.
I didn't say they were worried about it. Just things I think about.
The mind of Shoe.
I would think you'd kind of hang in there with me.
I appreciate the mind of Shoe.
Very few do. We're going to have some jackets made. I think you and my wife are the only 2 orders that are out there now. 3 minutes to go in the first half. And what a sequence we've had. Here's the official call.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
So Clint Trickett throws an interception. But West Virginia gets the football back on a 13-yard punt by Kip Smith. They start in plus territory, and now, only moments ago with their offense walking off the field after a turnover, they've got it first and goal to try and stretch to a 2-score lead again.
You got an NFL back in the backfield. I think you have to at least take a shot or 2 with Sims and see if he can get it done for you.
Sims gets the call. Up the middle. Pushes the pile. He's in. Touchdown, West Virginia.
Sims is 6 feet tall, 212 pounds, can catch the ball outside, and when he runs inside, he gets his shoulders down. He lowers his shoulders. He is such an all-around running back. A lot of scouts like him. Our Todd McShay is a fan. Does a nice scouting report on him as well.
Well, he was the Conference USA Freshman of the Year back in 2009 at Houston. and he played then for Dana Holgerson, who was the offensive coordinator, as he had nearly 800 yards receiving and nearly 700 yards rushing as a freshman. And now a blocked extra point, and it's picked up. This could be two the other way for Oklahoma State. Tyler Patman with a flag down goes the distance in the opposite direction. But a flag thrown all the way back down at the line of scrimmage on the point after attempt.
Yeah, and the West Virginia sideline is pointing, saying, bring it back, bring it all the way back.
Tyler Patman got the ball on the carom and went the distance for what could be two for Oklahoma State, but it looks as if this is going to be a penalty against the Cowboys. And they may have been lined up offsides or got
Offside.
a jump.
Defense number 26.
So it was Patman
Henry would be
himself.
enforced half the distance to the goal and retry.
Yeah, he must have lined up. It didn't look like he jumped, but he may have lined up offsides.
How about how special teams has impacted this game? Not only do you line up offsides, now maybe that had a lot to do with why he blocked the kick, but it costs them 2 points. But Oklahoma State with 2 punts here in the first half. One of 16 yards, one of 13 yards.
Yeah.
Those 2 punts resulted in possessions that ended with West Virginia touchdowns.
Gave him a short field. And a short field really helps you, particularly when you have an offense that's been struggling, and now you don't have to go as far to get points.
So Lambert gets another try. And this time he puts it through. 2:41 to go before halftime, and West Virginia's up by 10 again.
Alford comes up with the catch. Just set up the touchdown by Sims, and once again, West Virginia up by 10.
We're all different. Our interests,
More Quint Kesnick, upset alert here in Morgantown. 1 week after being shut out for the first time in 151 games. Dana Holgerson's team has 24 points on the board with a new quarterback in Clint Trickett. And they are putting a big scare into the 11th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. Dana Holgerson, how many times, Rod, have you done a game where in your meetings off of a team that gets drubbed 1 week, the head coach, the coordinators in your meeting say, I have to tell you, our kids are resilient. We had a great week of practice. Might have been our best week of practice. That was the story we heard yesterday. Sometimes you put credence into it, sometimes not. Oh, it looks like they might have been telling us the truth.
You're never as bad as you think and never as good as you think.
Good return by Desmond Rowland. All the way out to about the 40-yard line. Back to the studio and Reese Davis.
Bob Lex's halftime report is coming up. South Carolina's on the road against UCF, and they are struggling mightily. They've lost their quarterback. So, too, has Miami. Get you up to date on Stephen Morris, though the Hurricanes not struggling at all against South Florida. And we have 4 games matching ranked opponents. Mark and Lou will dive in and look ahead to all of them, including the LSU-Georgia game later on this afternoon.
All right, Reese, thanks very much. What a day of college football as conference play begins in earnest around the country. And the conference opener for Oklahoma State not going well. J.W. Walsh to the short side of the field. Stepping out of bounds is Jawan Seals with a catch of 2 yards.
I think Reese, Lou, and Mark May better settle in for a long day, because I think there are going to be a few upsets.
Well, right now we've got 2 going on simultaneously. As Dave Pash and Brian Greasy. Tom Luganville on the call over on ABC of South Carolina in trouble in Orlando. Jet sweep, Josh Stewart pivots the other way and weaves for about 3 more yards. It'll be 3rd down and 5 as we'll go under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Will Clark stay at home and eventually brought down Josh Stewart.
And the crowd will get involved again. They have been terrific on 3rd down for the West Virginia defense.
Four-man rush. Walsh, low throw, but a nice one. In stride, he gets Josh Stewart, and that's only the 4th 3rd down conversion here in the first half. But it quiets the crowd, and Oklahoma State with plenty of time. 2 timeouts, 1 minute and 38 on the clock, and now we have an injury, and That's Eric Kinsey, sophomore from Miami, who was playing the buck linebacker position for West Virginia, but because of some injuries and a lack of depth on the defensive line, they slid him from linebacker up to the D-line for today's game, and now he is shaken up, and they're stretching out his leg. Maybe that's a cramp, but it might also be a muscle pull. Well, Matt Kenseth is 2 for 2 in the chase for the Sprint Cup, lengthening his lead over Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson. 8 races remain as NASCAR's best continue the drive for the championship. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Dover tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN.
What, no love for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his 162 miles per hour and his lap that got in the pole position?
My goal with those promos regarding NASCAR is just to tee you up to drop knowledge.
Well, you gave me Jimmy Johnson, you know, so.
Because I knew where you wanted to go. I knew you had nuggets about Junior, and I didn't want to steal your thunder.
Appreciate that.
I understand that's the partnership.
I'm with you.
Wes Tonkery in the game now as he slides over to linebacker as Eric Kinsey is helped off the field. So after the injury timeout, play action for Walsh. Again, flushed out of the pocket, escapes the sack. And he'll run for what he can get. It's about 5 more, and it stops the clock with 1:29 to go.
You know, he is so elusive in the pocket. He feels the pressure. He's strong enough at 205 pounds to keep a guy off of him. Will Clark just kind of pushed him away.
Tipped ball on the screen. That was intended for Stewart, but Dontrell Hyman got a hand on it.
One thing you're looking for, Stewart has been the guy on 3rd down for Oklahoma State.
Stewart is the middleman on the trips to the near side left. Number 5, about a yard off the line. Instead, they'll try and run for it with Jeremy Smith. Will Clark not fooled? And now it's 4th down, just inside the 45-yard line, and let's see how Mike Gundy plays this. Let the clock wind all the way down. Should West Virginia be calling a timeout here?
Why not? You got one. Force them to do something. Now, last time on that 3rd down play, again, Walsh was reading the box and decided to hand off because he thought he had numbers. But West Virginia has done a good job of disguising that.
Timeout, West Virginia.
That's a very
Their
late reaction from the sideline
half.
for West Virginia.
Yeah.
If you're going to spend your time out there, why not spend it much earlier, as Dana Holgerson from the sideline called timeout, but not before at least 20 or 25 seconds
Clock
came off the
management.
clock.
Yeah.
Now, that's a nitpick. Wide angle lens, what a first half for West Virginia. They've taken the ball away. They've capitalized on poor special teams play from Oklahoma State. This has been a good recipe.
Well, and I think Dana Holgerson was looking for a hero. He was looking for a quarterback to step up and make plays, and Trickett has done that. I mean, their big plays have come off the passing attack. They've gotten single coverage. He's taken advantage of it, and that's why they've gotten points. The rushing attack has not been there. It's been all on Trickett to make plays.
Now flip it for Oklahoma State. What gets talked about in the locker room at halftime? What has to change for the second half?
Special teams has hurt them, you know, and they've got some things working on the offensive side. The read option works for them. Stewart is working for them. They just haven't been able to get the big play and get down the field deep. Patience for Oklahoma State.
And they're going to go for it on 4th down and 7 after the West Virginia timeout. A surprise here for Oklahoma State. West Virginia brings the blitz. Walsh running for his life. Throws one downfield, and it looks like he's got a conversion. Jawan Seals in double coverage is able to make the catch from J.W. Walsh.
The play after the play. The first play is smelled out and taken away by the pressure, but Walsh keeps it alive and manages to make a play down the field to Seals.
Jeremy Smith close to the 25-yard line, and now Oklahoma State has to call timeout with 41 seconds to go in the half.
Timeout, Oklahoma State, second of the half, 30-second timeout.
Do you think when Dana Holgerson finally called that timeout with 54 seconds, 55 seconds to go in the half, that he ever imagined that off of his timeout on 4th down and long, Mike Gundy would go for it? He's obviously trying to preserve time, thinking that they're going to get a punt, and then surprisingly on 4th and long they go for it.
I think he felt pretty good about his defense. I mean, his defense has played pretty well today, and I think he felt comfortable with a 4th down situation and thought they could make it regardless of whether they were going to go for it or not. Now, if you're Oklahoma State here, you have to remember you may have 3 points in your back pocket, so you don't want to lose any yardage here. You can take some shots as long as it's safe, but you almost have a gimme here of 3 points that you maybe didn't have the right to have a shot at.
9th play of the drive. And Grogan, the true freshman from Arlington, Texas, with only 2 attempts so far this season. It's because Oklahoma State has been so good in the red zone. They score a touchdown every time they get there. J.W. Walsh wants to set up the screen, and there's nothing there. So he gets out of bounds, preserving the timeout with 34 seconds to go in the half. But it does bring up 3rd down.
But a smart play. He didn't force anything. The screen wasn't there, didn't take a loss. They still have an opportunity to get better field position for a field goal, and they still have a timeout. They can take a shot over the middle and try and pick this up.
Trying to spin away as Walsh. This time he shovels one, and that will be ruled an incomplete pass. Will Clark all over him, and boy, was Walsh lucky that Desmond Rowland was nearby as a receiver that was eligible to avoid what would have been a sack.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter whether Rowland could actually catch it or not. Rowland could have been facing the other way. As long as he's in the area, this is valid. And he wasn't down, so that's an incomplete pass. And
a best-case scenario, if Rowland catches that ball, they lose 5 or 6 yards. The incompletion means they're still inside field goal range, although this will be a 44-yard attempt. Grogan hooks it left. No good. Special teams continues to be the Achilles heel for Oklahoma State here in the first half.
I think Mike Gundy will be calm, cool, collected. You know, he doesn't seem to panic during games in these situations. And I think he knows they've got some things that are working. Special teams not working, but they have some things on offense that have worked. They've got to eliminate some of those big plays defensively. And if you're West Virginia, take your knee, and you're happy with the way this first half went.
West Virginia with a 2-score lead at halftime. Remember, they won the toss and deferred. So they'll get the ball to start the 3rd quarter as we go down to Quint.
Coach, you told us you knew you were walking into a hornet's nest. What was the single key development in that first half?
Well, we got to take care of the football. We had 2 big turnovers that cost us points. And then on offense, we just have to settle down. JW is a little out of control. We just got to get him settled down.
Defensively, how do you do a better job defending the deep ball?
Well, we've given up a couple deep throws, and we've actually been in position on one of those times. We just got to go and make a play on the ball.
How do you best characterize your special teams?
We're not very good. We hadn't punted the ball very good.
Thanks, Coach.
Mike Gundy, not quite as worried as maybe a lot of Cowboy Nation is, as right now his team is down by 10 at half. Number 11 in trouble on the road here at West Virginia. Oklahoma State trailing by 10. Set for the start of the 3rd quarter. Bob Wischusen here with Rod Gilmore, Quinn Kesnick in just a moment. How does West Virginia finish this job?
Well, they're going to have to shorten the game if they want to win this thing. At some point, the rushing attack's got to get going. But Clint Trickett, I mean, he hasn't been perfect, but he's been really good. He's made plays for West Virginia, and they needed to get plays made from the quarterback. They hadn't had that for the last couple of weeks. Here he manages to get one down the field. Sims comes back, finds Alford down the field. Again, the big play from the pocket was essential. On the other hand, Oklahoma State, Dustin Stewart. Boy, he had a first half. This is a 73-yard catch and run for a touchdown, but he was really the key man for them offensively. Key receptions on third down, and they're going to have to find a way to keep him involved, but also get their rushing attack going in the second half.
And special teams hurt Mike Gundy's team tremendously in the first half.
Got to be sound in the kicking game.
So West Virginia won the toss to start the game, so they deferred their option to the second half. So they start the third quarter with the football. 1 week after being shut out 37-0 against Maryland, the Mountaineers have a 2-score lead to start off the second half. And getting a slow start here is Carswell. He's going in the wrong direction. There's a huge special teams mistake for West Virginia as Blake Jackson makes the tackle all the way back at the 3-yard line on Ronald Carswell.
Well, bad judgment by Carswell. When you have a kick that is like this, big bounce, and you don't get it cleanly, you cannot run laterally. The coverage team has already gotten down the field. When you have a kick like that, all you can do is get it up the field.
So here's a chance for the Oklahoma State defense.
Didn't we say be sound in the kicking game?
This game has had a lot of momentum shifts, and now we have another 6 seconds into the second half. Trickett to throw from the end zone, and he'll run it out of trouble. Uses the stiff arm, driven down by Caleb Levy. But he is able to pick up about 6 yards as we go down to Quinn Kesnick.
Positive body language and the ability to react and make a play like that one. It's what Dana Holgorsen likes the most about Clint Trickett in the first half. He said the negative, there's some operational issues within the Mountaineers offense, some reads, some of the intricacies that Geno Smith did so well that he continues to struggle with.
We were told, Quinn, as you mentioned earlier, that the biggest problem for Clint Trickett coming into this season was just the short amount of time he had to learn this offense. He only picked up 4 on that run. Spinning out of trouble is Sims. Charles Sims just turned nothing into something. Picked up about 4 more. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, you know what would really help Trickett? Stuff like that. They got to get a rushing attack. They have to find a way to run the football because right now everything is on his shoulders and he's taking a lot of shots.
9 rushing yards total in the first half for West Virginia. They picked up 8 rushing yards on their last 2 plays, but that's 17 total for the game. And let's see what they do on 3rd down and 2. Aaron snap. Trickett trying to make something happen. And a bad shotgun snap that Trickett couldn't handle. Eventually blown up by Shamil Gary. And it's 3 downs and out for West Virginia deep in their own end to start the second half.
Yeah, you know, sometimes the criticism of this kind of an offense is you need to be able to line up under center, turn around and give the ball to a back and pick up a couple of tough yards.
Nick O'Toole punch from the end zone. And he gets off a pretty good kick. High wobbly spiral and a fair catch called for and made by Josh Stewart. That's a good job by Nick O'Toole from his own end zone. A 50-yard punt and no return.
That is a tremendous kick to get them out of a hole.
But still good field position at the 42-yard line for Oklahoma State. So a lot of the momentum going into the locker room at halftime for West Virginia. Rod has a chance to be flipped by the Cowboys to start the third quarter. You get the mistake on special teams on the return and a 3 and out, and now you've got the ball near midfield.
Well, and you know, Gundy was confident at halftime. He was patient. He wasn't too worked up because they have some things that are working. That zone read is still there for them. They've been able to do that effectively.
Jeremy Smith just behind Walsh in the pistol. He'll take the handoff, and he might have lost a half yard.
Yeah, that's not the zone read. You know, what happens is that when they have 2 backs in the backfield, West Virginia triggers that as a key for run. And so they aren't really flying out thinking pass. They are bringing more guys into the box to deal with the rushing attack when they have 2 backs. Now you got diamond formation.
There's Jared Barber, the junior Sam linebacker, combined with K.J. Dillon on that last takedown. 2nd down and 10. Complete change on the defensive look as well for the Mountaineers. And over the middle, still J.W. Walsh beats it. Terrific throw on the in cut to Charlie Moore. And it's a first down inside the West Virginia 35.
It was the protection that gave him plenty of time to wait for Moore to come across the middle. I mean, he's running through zones here. They dropped a lot of guys, and there's plenty of patience there waiting for him to come open in between members of the zone.
Back to the diamond look, straight ahead run for Jeremy Smith. And once again, it's Jared Barber on the tackle after a gain of 3.
Now, you know, we've talked about that diamond formation. It's supposed to force the defense to play man-to-man on the outside, but West Virginia refuses to do that. And so they should be running against it when they get this, and we may get that here. But when you have to throw it, they wait for the zones to open up.
Play action again for Walsh. There's the pass up the seam again. Jeremy Seaton for the touchdown. It's like an instant replay of the touchdown they threw earlier in the game to Tracy Moore.
There's your guy who's actually going to give you a little bit of a fake here. They think, okay, little rushing. He just goes right by the linebacker, goes directly past Barber, who ignores him, and he's free.
The biggest damage for Oklahoma State in their passing game has been done in the middle of the field. Deep in cuts and seam routes that J.W. Walsh has thrown well. And now the short field gives Oklahoma State a touchdown, and it's a field goal game again.
Perfectly done. Get your guy out behind the linebacker.
Game. A special teams mistake has been the genesis for a touchdown. A couple of times for West Virginia in the first half, and that time for Oklahoma State. Charles Sims brings this one back from the goal line and loses his footing at the 15-yard line.
Let's go back to that touchdown pass to Seaton. This is a 2-deep coverage, and both safeties get forced wide because of the wide receivers. When that happens, that linebacker has got to get deep. He's got to run with any threat up the middle. He doesn't do that with Seaton here. Seaton wide open. Look at that. He sees all that clear space. All you need is your quarterback to hand you the ball, and he just drops it in there easily.
Let's see how Clint Trickett and the Mountaineer offense respond now that their lead has been cut to 3 once again. And again, poor field position on the handoff to Sims, and the field position doesn't get any better. James Castleman reached that big right arm out and corralled Sims. No gain on first down.
Well, think about what this does for Oklahoma State's defense. They know West Virginia can't run the ball. And so they're just teed up. They're coming. They know they've got to go get him because they don't respect any threat of the run game at all right now.
Pistol formation on 2nd and 10. Draw play. A 7-yard gain for Sims. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Now, whether you hand the ball to Sims or throw it to him out of the backfield, you have to get him more involved. He is a playmaker for you. He is the one guy that can help you catch the short pass and get yardage.
He had that one long pass down the sideline, but can they do more to get him the ball outside the tackle box?
Yeah, I would think that's the way to go.
4-man rush. Trickett has a 3rd down conversion. Cody Clay in that same spot. That West Virginia's defense was just hurt right between the numbers, and that's a 12-yard gain.
And that's the impact of Sims because the defense was so concerned with him going wide that they opened up the middle of the field.
Throw to the outside by Trickett. Ivan McCartney, who last season had 9 catches, midway through the year, left the team. He was unhappy with his role. He had some personal problems at home. And Dana Holgerson said we bore him no ill will and welcomed him back this year. That's another 1st down catch. Sims breaks a tackle. Just about broke another, and he's got an 8.5-yard gain on 1st down. Justin Gilbert couldn't bring him down on first contact.
Hard inside running, tough running by a guy who can do it. Did a lot of this with the University of Houston, before transferring over here this year. He is a guy you will see on Sundays in the NFL.
Pump fake for Trickett, flushed out of the pocket. Buys some time and throws a jump ball. Almost held onto by K.J. Myers. And the crowd was looking for a flag. Instead, it'll be 3rd down and about 2.
Well, Trickett's had a couple of shots out there, a couple of guys downfield. Patman got away with a bit of a hold, which is what the crowd is reacting to.
You get the muddle huddle now for West Virginia with the play clock winding down. Play clock at 6 on 3rd down and 2. And under center goes Clint Trickett. Play action. Bootleg rollout. He can run for it. He's got the 1st down and more. Misdirection on the run by Clint Trickett. A gain of 6.
That's just savvy quarterback play, although he is grabbing that right leg.
He's a little gimpy coming back to the huddle.
He is more mobile than any of the other quarterbacks that they have at West Virginia.
And that is Mom on the edge of her seat in the end zone a long way to our left as Clint Trickett keeps the drive alive. Right up the middle, Dreamus Smith for 6 more yards. All of a sudden, Rod, the run game that was not consistent at all in the first half for West Virginia has been big on this drive.
Yeah, and there you see Trickett limping a little bit, that right leg. But you know, you're right about the rushing attack. They are such a perimeter rushing team. Most teams challenge them, dare them to run inside. They're trying to take advantage of that right now and run inside some.
Again on the ground. This time it's the freshman Wendell Smallwood who picks up 2. It'll be 3rd down and about 3. Sam Wren made the tackle for Oklahoma State. And as of right now, this is the longest drive for either team that we've seen in terms of time of possession, only approaching 4 minutes. So it's been a quick strike day for both offenses. Big 3rd down here, and they won't get it. Dreamus Smith driven back. Now you're at the 33-yard line, and it's 4th down and 3. What do you do?
Well, you kicked and you made a field goal of 45 yards earlier with room to spare. And you've come from your own, inside your own 15, and you made the 45-yarder with a lot to spare. I'd kick it. You need something positive to happen.
And they're going to try this one with Michael Molinari. No, check that. Josh Lambert from just over 50 yards away. Knuckleball that never gets close.
Somebody got a piece of that. That's Glenn Spencer, the defensive coordinator, happy with that effort because somebody got a hand on it.
The momentum continues to shift as Lambert can't hit from a loss of the field goal a moment ago.
Yeah, big right paw, number 91. See that? Right in the middle of your screen.
So Castleman gets the field goal deflection. West Virginia gets into plus territory but can't score. And they're trying to protect a 3-point lead. Walsh back to work. Wants a big one up the seam again, and that one may have been deflected. Josh Stewart, the intended receiver, looked like a well-thrown ball, but Doug Rigg sank back in coverage and may have gotten a piece of the football.
Starting to get a nice little rhythm for the Oklahoma State offense, kind of mixing in the rushing attack and the passing attack. Look at what you see there. Both teams actually pretty balanced.
Walsh trying to swing one out, and that's deflected down at the line by Will Clark. Now it's 3rd down and 10.
West Virginia sends in their 3rd down defense, their extra pass rushers, and their extra defensive backs. Stewart is the guy that they've had trouble with on 3rd down all afternoon.
as he throws. Long throw to the sideline. And it's incomplete. Marvin Gross got some pressure on J.W. Walsh. So again, the true freshman gets some pressure. And now, what has been an adventure all day today for Oklahoma State. They're going to punt the football away, and Kip Smith, a 16-yard punt and a 13-yard punt that both resulted in short field touchdown drives. This one a much better kick with hang time. Not making a fair catch is Jordan Thompson, and he paid the price. 43-yard punt, no return. Zach Craig makes the tackle on special teams. So Oklahoma State's head coach Mike Gundy against his old offensive coordinator Dana Holgorsen in a 3-point game.
Watch college football live all season long on Watch ESPN. Download the app or visit watchespn.com.
Mike Gundy. Now, before Dana Holgorsen became 3 years ago the head coach here at West Virginia, he spent 1 year on the sideline with Mike Gundy as the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. And Dana Holgorsen's DNA is still very much a part of this offense that Mike Gundy's team runs.
Absolutely. He had control of the offense at Oklahoma State, put it in there, and then Mike Gundy kept it, and every coordinator he's hired since then has run Dana's offense.
And now Clint Trickett still trying to learn it. Starts at his own 24-yard line. Still with a 3-point lead and a play-action fake. Again, he wants the deep ball. He's got man coverage. Can't drop it in. Looking for Carswell. Kevin Peterson was there in coverage, but that ball underthrown enough that Peterson was able to stay with Carswell and break it up.
These two corners have played great today. I mean, there have been a couple catches made, but it's not because they weren't in position. I mean, Peterson and Gilbert have been all over these receivers. Just a couple of times they didn't make the play at the end, but coverage has been fantastic.
Justin Gilbert's the senior. Kevin Peterson is a true sophomore. He only had 2 passes broken up as a true freshman last year. 2nd and 10. Trickett, long throw to the sideline. Held up was Kevin White. No flag comes out. And let's go back to Reese Davis.
Bob, time for a Taco Bell Live Moss moment. South Carolina's awakened in the second half. Mike Davis had a touchdown run. As we mentioned earlier, Connor Shaw out for the game. Dylan Thompson scampers in. First time all season that UCF has trailed 14-10 late in the third on ABC.
So you've got South Carolina coming back in Orlando. And Oklahoma State trying to do the same here in Morgantown. They force 3rd down and 10. 3-man rush. Trickett creates time. Incomplete. Deflected away. Intended for DeKeel Shorts. Looked like Lindell Johnson on the dive. Tipped it down, so it's 3 downs and out for West Virginia.
Trickett needs to settle down a little bit. There was only a 3-man rush. He did not have to get out of the pocket there.
That was a 19-second possession for West Virginia. Stewart, fair catch at the 31. Well, later on tonight, Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Windows. Showcases the nation's longest win streak. Urban Meyer's undefeated 4th-ranked Buckeyes will take on the Badgers. Number 23 heads to the Horseshoe to take on number 4. Saturday Night Football on ABC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific tonight. And the Wisconsin running backs off to the kind of start we're used to seeing Wisconsin running backs get off to.
They may have changed head coaches at Wisconsin with Gary Anderson stepping in now, but it's the same formula. 2 or 3 running backs that can pound it, and Gordon's having a tremendous year, as we've seen with White in the past, and they'll challenge the Buckeyes tonight.
Pressure on the Mountaineer defense again. Walsh on a cutback run. Maybe a yard. Nice job by Darryl Worley, helped out by Shaq Rowell. As they stayed home, it will be 2nd down and 9.
Both these teams have tried more running plays in the second half to balance out their offense. Walsh, certainly a guy they have looked to be the focal point of their rushing attack, but he's going to have to throw it a bit more here.
It's Desmond Rowland now in a tailback. And that 3-by-1 look we always see from Oklahoma State. Play action for Walsh. Escapes the pocket. He'll tuck it under and run. It looks like he's got a 1st down. They mark it out maybe a half-yard shy. Doug Rigg could not bring down J.W. Walsh. And let's see where they spot the football. Is it 3rd down and a foot? It looks like it is 3rd down and less than a yard. Quick snap, right up the middle, and there's a 3rd down conversion by Desmond Rowland.
And not many design runs have worked well for Oklahoma State. It's been Walsh trying to create with his legs, scrambles, occasionally that zone read. In the first half was good for them. I think they'll go back to that.
Play action fake. Wide open and a drop right into the hands of Jawan Seals. And it went right through his hands and right into his shoulder pads. That's an unforced error and a break for West Virginia. It's 2nd down and 10.
How patient will Oklahoma State be? West Virginia wants Walsh to throw. They want to keep him in the pocket. Will they be patient here, or will they fall into that plan, that trap?
Running wide. And using the stiff arm was Jeremy Smith. And he looked like he may have been caught behind the line for a moment, but he held off Terrell Chestnut. But it sets up 3rd down again. It will be 3rd down and about 6 from just shy of midfield. Actually, 3rd down at 7.
And can Walsh create? Can he buy time and use his legs? That's the way he's done it. Even throwing the ball down the field is buying time with his feet.
5 for 13 on 3rd down today, and they are 5 wide with an empty backfield. Here comes the blitz off the edge. Walsh trying to run away from it. Somehow escapes a sack and hoists one downfield. It's a jump ball and it's incomplete. David Glidden was the closest man to the football, but there were a couple of receivers for Oklahoma State that were way behind the coverage. And again, J.W. Walsh couldn't get enough arm strength behind the football to make West Virginia pay.
He bought time. He bought time to give himself a chance. His receivers, almost all of them, beat the man coverage. They were all wide open. It was a full-out blitz from West Virginia, but Walsh just couldn't get enough on it because he had to work so hard to buy time.
And we have an injured Mountaineer. As you could see on that replay, Glidden ended up in the midst of the jump ball, but Blake Jackson was 5 yards further behind Glidden than the football ended up, and there was no one in between Blake Jackson and the end zone. So that was another deep ball touchdown that could have been there for Oklahoma State.
Well, even on the other side, there were at least 3 receivers who were behind the West Virginia secondary.
It might be Darrell Worley, the true freshman cornerback, who has been good today, who was down and injured, as we've got the injury timeout. And it is indeed Worley. He's able to walk off as we go down to Quint.
Guys, West Virginia starting to get a little banged up and wear down here. You got 2 receivers who you will not see on the next possession. Mario Alford, number 5, you see his shoulder pads right here on the sideline. And then Ivan McCartney has a head injury. Alford's got a shoulder. Quarterback Clint Trickett, his issue is a right calf. He took some electrolytes during that last change of possession.
Jordan Thompson fields it inside the 5 on a fair catch. And every Mountaineer fan here in Morgantown knows that was a mistake.
Well, they know
48-yard punt.
That's not being sound in the kicking game. You are supposed to plant your heels at the 10-yard line. Occasionally, your special teams coach will allow you to go back to the 8, but no further back than that. You have to know where you are on the field.
That is the look of a frustrated special teams coach. As Joe DeForest, who's the assistant head coach to Dana Holgerson, also in charge of special teams, sees another special teams error made by West Virginia.
And it's impacted field position. This is their second time on the 3-yard line in the second half.
Well, Oklahoma State hurt themselves every bit as bad on special teams in the first half. So now at the 3-yard line after a fair catch that never should have been. Trickett from the end zone. Long throw, incomplete. Kevin White looking for a flag. Justin Gilbert, the senior there in coverage. And he turns around, has something to say to Kevin White. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
The problem for West Virginia, when you don't have a rushing attack, you can't grind your way out of this, and you can't shorten the game. I mean, players are dropping, and this game isn't going any faster for them. They can't run clock. They can't shorten the game.
Here's a run to Sims. He finds a crease. There he goes. Charles Sims with the biggest run of the day for West Virginia by far. From the shadow of his own goalposts all the way out to the 28-yard line.
And he made guys miss and ran through a tackle or two. I mean, good blocking on the left side. It's a good job done up front, but making a couple of guys miss to pick up 25 yards, huge.
Sean Lewis whiffed on Charles Sims. And what a big run that is for West Virginia as they're out of trouble, at least for the time being. The pile moves for about 3 yards this time to Dreamus Smith. Second down and 7.
You can see Dana Holgorsen wants to run the ball some more. He wants to shorten this game. He understands that he's losing some players and that pace just isn't good enough. And you can't keep giving Oklahoma State's offense that many opportunities.
Trickett up the seam. Tipped. On the carom, almost pulled in by White. Tyler Patman was there to deflect the ball. Another good job in positioning by an Oklahoma State defensive back.
I tell you, they've played great. I mean, this gives you the confidence. If you're Glenn Spencer, you can play man coverage, which allows you to have the 8th guy in the box to take away the rushing attack. And as long as those corners keep playing like that, it's going to be hard for West Virginia to run the football.
Clint Trickett has missed on his last 6, but some of those have been passes defensed by the secondary for the Cowboys. Play action here. Some pressure comes, hit as he throws, it comes out sideways, and another 3rd down stop for Oklahoma State. So they give up some field position on the run down near the goal line by Sims, but they get the stop. And how many times can West Virginia give that Cowboy offense the ball back and expect to hold on to this lead?
Well, and you also don't give your defense a lot of time to rest, recover, and adjust to things.
The 6th punt for Nick O'Toole. It's another pretty good one. Another fair catch called for and made by Stewart at the 30. College football primetime on ESPN presented by Hampton Hotels kicks off at 6:30 tonight. It'll be undefeated SEC West rivals squaring off. Bo Wallace tries to pull the upset on the road. Number 21 Ole Miss heads to Tuscaloosa to face A.J. McCarron and number 1 Alabama. College football primetime on ESPN tonight at 6:30. Also live on Watch ESPN. And A.J. McCarron continues to build on quite a collegiate career.
That's your guy. He doesn't seem to get a lot of accolades, a lot of respect out there, but man.
If I'm a coach, sign me up for 55 and 10 touchdowns to interceptions.
How about 28 and 2?
I think those two numbers go hand in hand. Option play and a flip on the end around. Charlie Moore might want to throw it. He's got nowhere to go. The trick play does not work for Oklahoma State. Did Moore throw it away to avoid what might have been an 8-yard loss? And it looks like they may rule that an incomplete pass as he got rid of the football before he got out of bounds.
Yeah, and as long as it passes the line of scrimmage, because he's outside the tackle box, it'll be okay. And that ball has to pass the line of scrimmage, and it does.
Now the flag is dropped down. Now they're going to say that the ball didn't pass the line of scrimmage, at least seemingly so. There might be a couple of issues here. Was there an ineligible man downfield? That might have been picked up by one of the officials. So the flag dropped out as this conference began. And now we've got the Geneva Convention at the 25-yard line.
Well, great presence of mind by Moore to get rid of that football and not take a huge loss. And initially, it certainly looked like it got beyond the line of scrimmage. Maybe there is something else going on here.
Ineligible men downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, so it wasn't Moore. Moore did the right thing, saving the yardage, but His offensive lineman got a little carried away and couldn't tell if he was going to run with it or throw it, and took off.
If you're Dana Holgorsen, do you take the yardage there, or do you take the down? 1st and 15 as opposed to 2nd and 10?
I'm okay with the 1st and 15, trying to make it a little tougher. Your defense hasn't played poorly.
Walsh ends up with better yardage than they would have had they not accepted the penalty. Tracy Moore, instead of what would have been 2nd and 10 if they turned the penalty down, becomes 2nd down and 7 instead after the catch by Moore. Now the officials are talking again. We didn't see a flag drop out. And now an unexplained conference. Dana Holgorsen is wondering what that meeting was about. Now West Virginia wildly trying to change players on defense. And Dana Holgorsen's furious. He wants an explanation from the officials as to how a conference could result in the ball almost immediately being put in play. And West Virginia was caught wildly trying to substitute just before the snap.
And you know, the Big 12 is the only conference that is experimenting with an 8th official who actually spots the ball. And that is intended to speed things up and free up the other officials to monitor substitution and other things. And Dana Holgorsen is saying, hey, you stopped the play. We didn't know what you were going to do. I should be allowed to make my substitution. The offense already had. We don't know what you're going to do because you stopped the clock. So why wouldn't you allow us to do it?
West Virginia.
So West Virginia has to call a timeout.
30 seconds.
Now, while the officials had gone through their little conference, I think Dana Holgorsen was upset because apparently Oklahoma State substituted. But before the snap, he wasn't given the opportunity to substitute, and it became the Keystone Cops for West Virginia. Dana Holgorsen gets not pleased that he was forced to call that last timeout. But rather than get caught with personnel on the field, running on and off, West Virginia has to stop things now after the timeout, 2nd and 7. Running play blown up for a loss of 4. Jared Barber all over Jeremy Smith. And once again, West Virginia forces Oklahoma State into 3rd down and long.
A good delayed blitz that time by West Virginia creates the 3rd down and long now. And they don't like to play man-to-man coverage in these situations. They want to try and bait the throw into coverage, but it's been the middle of the field that's been the problem for them defensively that Walsh has worked.
Mountaineers show blitz. Will they bluff out of it? It looks like they do. Now it's a 6-man rush. Walsh long throw to the sideline. And another 3rd down conversion falls short for Oklahoma State. Josh Stewart was the intended receiver, but it will be a punt for the Cowboys. Now Jordan Thompson will drop back deep to receive the kick of Kip Smith. Kip Smith in the first half struggled, but his last punt was fair caught by Thompson inside the 5-yard line. This one might be returnable. He gets tripped up. So that time, good punt coverage. Octavius Jones makes the stop. How do you manage this game the rest of the way if you're Dana Holgorsen? Do you continue to attack, or do you have to offensively? How much pressure can he continue to put on his defense?
He's waiting for his opportunity. They've had terrible field position, so he's had to be a little conservative. I mean, he knows he needs to shorten the game because it's just too many opportunities for Oklahoma State, but he has to have some field position. Look where he's been. He started his own 3 twice. His 15, his 24, and they haven't been able to do much with this, and now they're at their own 22.
This is the 27th combined possession of the game, and we have yet to get to the 4th quarter. Trickett in trouble, and throws it at least in the area of an eligible receiver. Charles Sims was there with David L. Collins providing pressure. Let's go back to Reese.
Bob, on ABC, South Carolina starting to flex its muscle against UCF. Steve Spurrier said at halftime he wanted to run it. Mike Davis has. His 3rd 100-yard rushing game. It's 21-10 after Davis goes in there in the 4th quarter. And again, it's on ABC.
All right, Reese, well, that's a complete flip of the script for South Carolina. They were down 10-0 at halftime. Now they've scored 21 in the second half. And Oklahoma State trying to do exactly the same to West Virginia. Another errant snap, nicely handled by Trickett. Traps a handoff to Sims, and he runs a long way to pick up 3 yards.
That is a fast closing secondary. That was Shepard, number 7, coming in to make the play.
So now it's 3rd down and 8. And again, West Virginia trying to keep a drive alive so their defense doesn't have to run right back out there. Trickett with a pump fake. Throws a bomb. It's a jump ball, right sideline, incomplete, flag out. Shamil Gary, the safety, was in coverage on Da'Keel Shorts, and that is a big break for the Mountaineers.
Oh, Gary's not happy about that. It was a wheel route, and he couldn't find the football, and the receiver
Pass
jumped over him.
interference. Number 7 defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's a huge call.
Yeah, watch the end of it. And he just didn't find the football, but he didn't initiate the contact. Look at him here. He's now turning back inside. That one's really, really weak. I don't know about that. That's kind of weak. And I'm not even sure that that ball could have been caught.
Shamil Gary was not a highly recruited player out of high school, ended up going to Wyoming and eventually transferred and walked on at Oklahoma State. And that time, he might have been the victim of a bad call. Trickett tries to capitalize. He's got a deep man out there, running under it and making the catch is Ronald Carswell. And he stayed on his feet. That was a touchdown. Instead, Lindell Johnson back in coverage. He was beat. And West Virginia's in the red zone.
Well, you'll see at the top, it looks like he's expecting help deep. And because the inside safety, that's Johnson, goes to the inside, it leaves Carswell free to the outside. A 45-yard pickup. And that's just a miscommunication back there. You always have to be aware of the deepest and the widest guy.
Trickett sets up the screen, caught by Jordan Thompson. He's down to about the 11-yard line. Steps out at the 12. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
What have I always told you about zone coverages? When you're playing a deep area, deep is the deepest, wide is the widest. Didn't happen that time.
I like it when you give me, if they're even, he's leaving.
He is leaving.
And that time, unfortunately, Lindell Johnson let Ronald Carswell get even and then some. 2nd and 4. Trickett looking for the lob in the end zone. It's broken up.
I'll say that was a great defensive play by the receiver because Gilbert was about to pick that off. Now Myers knocked the ball away. Otherwise, that's a pick. Look at this. And Gilbert actually knocks it away too. But there was no way that Myers was going to catch that ball.
Huge play here. 3rd down and 4 in the red zone. Trickett, long throw, and he throws that one away with a flag down. This is a very interesting decision for Mike Gundy. Emmanuel Ogbah may have been held as he tried to get some pressure on Clint Trickett.
I think he'll take it. I think he'll move them back. I mean, that's Glenn Spencer, the D coordinator, saying, I like my defense. We're playing well. We can handle this. Move him back. We'll get him out of field goal range, possibly.
If they accept the penalty, it would put the ball back at the 22-yard line.
You see,
and
Spencer's
incompletion,
his case.
You'd be looking at about a 40-yard field goal. But it looks like they'll decline.
Number 62 offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
I mean, in the NFL, you would always decline that penalty because anything from 40 yards and in for a field goal attempt in pro football is pretty much a chip shot. But in college, 40-yard field goals can be an adventure. That was a very interesting decision.
You see Spencer pleading his case. He's like, my defense can get you to stop. Move him back.
Well, still Josh Lambert has to try and knock one through from 29 yards out. 1 for 2 on the day, but both from long range. Movement in the line. This is a big call. It's a 1st down if this penalty is called against Oklahoma State.
Wow, what a change that would be.
If they were drawn off, it just makes it a 34-yard field goal.
False start. Number 78 offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So a false start is called against West Virginia, and they will try the field goal from just a shade further away.
Yeah, look right there.
Well, didn't see much until that flinch, but almost simultaneous to an Oklahoma State jump. So now it's a 34-yard attempt. And it will miss wide right. From 34 yards away, another bullet dodged for Oklahoma State as Josh Lambert can't hit. And another drive that ends up relatively deep in Cowboy territory nets no points for West Virginia.
Well, we've talked about special teams all day long, and neither team has been sound.
I don't remember calling a game that had this many different momentum-changing plays made on special teams that resulted either in short fields, touchdown drives, points left out there, and that's 3 more that West Virginia should have and could have had. Back to the offense for J.W. Walsh. Hands one to Jeremy Smith, and he has been bottled up all day. He's had nowhere to go.
No, the design runs have not worked for Oklahoma State. The rushing attack has come off of the zone read with Walsh keeping the ball, or simply Walsh creating on his own with scrambles.
11 carries for 1 yard for Jeremy Smith. And we head to the 4th quarter. Still the Mountaineers.
For a dull moment on the sideline when Dana Holgorsen is involved. Frustrated, the lack of communication between head coach and quarterback apparent on that last series. Slamming his headset, breaks into multiple pieces. The equipment staff busy, then they try to get another headset, get the right frequency. He actually called that last series minus the headset.
Very interesting. Do you think Oliver Luck, the athletic director, sends Dana a bill tomorrow? As Jeremy Smith finds a little bit of a cutback lane, and that's as good as he has looked running the ball all day. Jared Barber brings him down after a gain of 4, but neither of these two teams has been able to run the football. Both will have to rely, you think, on their passing game.
Yeah, what do you think of that West Virginia defense today and on 3rd downs like this?
3rd down and 6 to start the 4th quarter. 4-man rush. Walsh on the slant, has a 3rd down conversion. Jawan Seals, who dropped one a couple of possessions ago, makes a big catch there, a gain of 13.
This West Virginia defense has been challenged. Whoa, they didn't even get their guys on the field that time.
Walsh tucks it under, steps out at the 40-yard line, which looks like it'll be marked out at the 39, a gain of 2.
Did you see they had guys running on the field? The tempo caught up with them that time. They never got into their stance.
It's amazing how quickly Oklahoma State can get all 11 players set for that one required second before they snap the ball. Tremendous tempo. Walsh underneath. Marcel Aitman makes the catch, 2 yards shy of a 1st down. And we asked Mike Gundy this week, you've got so many receivers. Can you have too many? You're worried about chemistry with your quarterback. And he said, well, we've got a 4-wide receiver set. We like to go fast. At one point, he said, I want 2 offensive lines. And on 3rd down, the offensive line can't do the job. On Shaq Rao. Jeremy Smith brought down behind the line. And again, a 3rd down stop for West Virginia.
And Shaq Rao is the guy that if you don't double team him, he will make plays. He's 305 pounds and a force inside.
So the West Virginia defense continues to protect a 3-point lead. Here's Kip Smith again. He's had a much better second half punting the football. And a fair catch made at the 17-yard line by Jordan Thompson. Cars.com, early 4th quarter, a 3-point lead that Clint Trickett and the offense for West Virginia trying to protect, as Montara has been on the edge of her seat all afternoon, as Clint Trickett basically grew up in Morgantown. His dad, Rick, now a member of the Florida State coaching staff, where he transferred from, but from the time he was in 2nd grade till the time he was a freshman in high school, this is where he lived, as his dad was on the West Virginia coaching staff. Long throw to the sideline, through the hands of Carswell, and incomplete. So he said he always considered this a home away from home and wanted to come to West Virginia out of high school, but wasn't recruited by the Mountaineers at the time. Goes to Florida State, which he said, how much better can you do as a backup option than going to Tallahassee, but was never comfortable playing on the team where his dad was on the coaching staff. And of course, with the arrival of Jameis Winston, knew he was not going to get a chance to play quarterback there. He has a big chance now to upset Oklahoma State. Trying to run away from the pressure, throws it low, incomplete. Charles Sims was in the area with Emmanuel Ogbah pushing down Trickett, and now Trickett's hurt. And now Paul Millard is going to get his helmet on, and let's see if he has to head out on the field. No, before 3rd down and 10, it looks like Trickett will shake it off.
Yeah, he stayed in the ball game. Now, this is a tough deal here. Only 10 seconds have come off the clock. Remember, that defense just got off the field for West Virginia. So right now, if you don't pick up this first down, you're putting your defense right back out there, and your quarterback is a little banged up.
They might have to call timeout anyway. Trickett slow to get up, barely got back to the huddle, and now the play clock is winding down. Will he get this snap off? That clock goes to all zeros. Trickett was hurt. It took him so long to shake off the injury and get back to the
Delay
huddle.
of game, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And now they'll make the quarterback switch. Now, Paul Millard's been in this situation before. Last year against Oklahoma State, he replaced Geno Smith when Geno Smith's helmet came off. He was in for one play. That's the one play. A touchdown pass. So he had a big impact. He hasn't played since back in week 2 at Oklahoma. And now it's 3rd down and long. And Millard will throw. Underneath, he throws a strike. He's not going to get the first down, but at least it creates a little bit more room for the punt unit as Da'Keil Shorts makes the catch.
He only took about 20-25 seconds off the clock, and your defense will have to go right back out there. And they've been on the field an awful lot in the second half, largely due to the poor field position West Virginia's had. How long can they hold on against that Oklahoma State offense?
Nick O'Toole gets off a good kick. Stewart, returnable. Not a lot of hang time, but plenty of distance. Stewart gets a block. There goes Josh Stewart. All the way out to midfield, hit from behind, and the pile still moves as he stays in bounds. Inside the 45-yard line of West Virginia. A 56-yard punt, but a 35-yard return. Trickett is hurt. Nick O'Toole just outkicked his coverage.
And a big hit on Trickett. He's taken.
College football is presented by Cars.com. Get the right car without all the drama. Cars.com. All drive, no drama. And in part by Bank of America.
The Mountaineer People Mover, the Morgantown Personal Rapid Transit System, connects all 3 campuses of West Virginia as well as downtown Morgantown. And there's Clint Trickett, and it looks like he is going to be heading back to the locker room to get checked out. Just tried to throw and stretch out his shoulder over on the sideline, and you can see the pain he was in. One throwing attempt, and he's injured and upset. Great field position, the best of the day for Oklahoma State. J.W. Walsh takes a shot up the seam, through the hands of Josh Stewart, and that one should have been caught, and it would have been a big first down for the Cowboys.
Stewart having a great day, knows he should have had that one. And Oklahoma State in position now. This West Virginia defense has been out there an awful lot. They're starting to wear down, and Oklahoma State's trying to take advantage of it.
And could have there had it not been for the Stewart drop. There comes a blitz on 2nd and 10. J.W. Walsh right back up the seam again. This one's not dropped by Tracy Moore. He fights his way down to about the 12-yard line.
They have the sense that they had the West Virginia defense on its heels, and they come right back. Moore working against the safety.
There they go again. Up the middle, Desmond Rowland. He is down to about the 7-yard line, and so far this year in college football, there has not been a better red zone team than Oklahoma State. They haven't been here today, but coming into today, they were the only team in the country to score a touchdown on every red zone trip so far this season. They were 15 for 15. 15 touchdowns on 15 trips into the red zone. Now it's 2nd and 4. Walsh buying time. Back of the end zone. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down and 4.
A lot of yellow jerseys down there. You will not get man coverage from West Virginia down here. Their tendency is to drop a lot of guys and try and take advantage of the short area of the field there and overload it. Walsh can buy time with his legs, though.
Three-man rush. So Walsh has time. Flag down as he throws a jump ball in the end zone. And that is caught. No signal yet. The officials confer. Josh Stewart has it. And they'll rule it incomplete with a flag down. Carl Joseph at the last moment might have ripped it away from Josh Stewart. It looked like he had it.
But once you leave your feet, you have to come back down
Personal
with control.
foul. Face mask. Number 34, defense.
Huge call.
Penalty being forced half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
That's Icky Banks, the corner on that side. He's up close in bump and run position and gets his left hand up around the face mask. And that's why they flagged him for that.
So in spite of the incompletion on 3rd down, it's a free 1st down for Oklahoma State inside the 5. Jeremy Smith up the middle. Stood up at the goal line. Did he break the plane? A second push of the pile. It looks like Darwin Cook stopped him just short of the goal line. It will be 2nd down and goal.
And Cook, the safety, just brings it all in the end there. Stewart was about to fall into the end zone. Look at that big hit right there. That's a good hit.
And now we have an injury for West Virginia. Doug Rigg. Rigg is in the game as a backup. Nick Kwiatkowski, who was the leading tackler at inside linebacker for West Virginia, coming into today, had a hamstring injury, so he couldn't play. Rigg stepped in, and according to Keith Patterson, he's the most intelligent linebacker that they've got. He can play a lot of different positions just because of his intelligence level, but now they're working on his left knee. So now you're 3 deep on the depth chart at linebacker before 2nd down and goal.
Well, they started the day down a couple of players on defense, and when you add to that, you know, the wear and tear, the number of plays, and the lack of rest, the defense is starting to falter a little bit here. And that was why they needed to have their offense run some clock, get some drive, get something going to give this defense a rest. Now they're trying to hold on here at the goal line.
Clint Trickett's back on the sideline trying to work out the right arm to see if he's going to be able to maybe throw a couple of passes and get back in the game. He was back in the locker room, so we'll see who is at quarterback when West Virginia gets the ball back, but will they even still have the lead? Will we even be tied when they get the ball back? 2nd down and goal from inside the 1. Walsh, lob pass, broken up, intended for Tracy Moore. Now it's 3rd down and goal from inside the 1. Travis Bell.
Yeah, I don't get that. You know, you have to be able to run the football down there. And that's one of the criticisms of the spread offense is that inside the 5, you don't do that. You can't run the ball. But you've got Walsh back there. You got a diamond formation. I got to believe you got to have confidence and run the football.
Roland Smith and Seaton all in the backfield surrounding J.W. Walsh. They'll try and run it. No chance! Jeremy Smith dropped well behind the line, and West Virginia thinks the ball came out. Dontrell Hyman was the first man there to make the stop.
Well, talk about rising up here. And Hyman, 99, really shoots through the
Going off the
backfield.
field as the runner was down.
The ball did roll free, but Jeremy Smith was ruled to have been down by the officials. And it certainly looks as if his knees were down before the ball appears. Although they may go upstairs just to double check, and it looks like the replay booth has buzzed down.
Previous play is under further review.
That last replay we just saw made it a little bit more of a replay-worthy call. From here, the ball disappears, so
yeah, you
from
can't
this
see the
angle, it's
ball.
hard to see when the ball comes free. But the last look that we had...
Again, you need conclusive evidence. So the first replay, we had nothing conclusive. From this angle...
Are his knees down before the ball comes free?
Well, it's hard to tell. That right leg, is that right leg down before the ball comes out? I mean, clearly his progress had been stopped, but was the right leg down before it came out?
Well, forward progress, of course, is a judgment call that has to be made by the officials, and they never ruled forward progress on the field. That would nullify any potential replay from the booth. So they ruled him down by contact. And now we're getting a look, Rod, I think, at why on second down, Oklahoma State threw the ball into the end zone because on third down, they didn't have a chance to get there with the run game.
Well, it goes back to the spread offense, and one of the problems with it is that you can't run the ball down close to the goal line and pick up 6 points. You have to be able to do that. You got to find a way to do that, particularly if you want to win a championship.
Well, one way or the other, that's the first time a defense this season has stopped Oklahoma State in the red zone from scoring a touchdown. And they stopped them from inside the 2-yard line with a first down. And on second and third down from well inside the 1. So that's a huge defensive stand for the Mountaineers. Will they end up with the football, or will it be a field goal attempt? Here's the ruling.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Fourth down.
Yeah, it was hard to see anything or enough in there to overturn it. And remember, the standard is you got to have conclusive evidence or indisputable evidence to overturn the call on the field.
Now, technically, Oklahoma State could still score a touchdown if they fake the field goal. But if they go ahead and try the field goal with Ben Grogan, it would be the first time that they had been stopped from scoring a touchdown inside the red zone. This for the tie.
Every kick has been an adventure today.
And the freshman Ben Grogan hit the upright.
Are you kidding me?
Special teams all day long for both teams.
Oh, you have got to be sound in the kicking game. They are not. And they had first down inside the 2, and they come away with nothing.
Again, presented by Cars.com, and it is Clint Trickett back in at quarterback, shaking off the shoulder injury. And it looked like it might knock him out for the rest of the game. Went back to the locker room, got some treatment. Now he's back out there. And he'll throw on first down. Flips one to a wide open Charles Sims. Let's go back to Reese Davis.
All right, Bob, we have a thrilling finish here. Joey Logano's going for his 4th straight win at Dover in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. You're expecting to see that here on ESPN. We're going to start it on ESPN Classic, so you can tune into Classic and see the race until our football game is over.
Second down and 7 here in Morgantown. A 3-point lead for West Virginia. And Clint Trickett trying maybe to milk some clock as well. Well protected on second down. And now he will float one to the sideline and throw it away. It'll be third down. Again, Emmanuel Ogba got some pressure.
Again, they just really don't have a rushing attack. Sims is the guy they threw it to on first down, and you keep thinking, how do you get something going? How strong is this arm right now for Trickett? Can he throw the ball down the field? If I'm Oklahoma State, I'm assuming that everything's got to be short. If they can't run it with Sims and he can't throw it deep, it's got to be short.
The 151st play from scrimmage in the game. And it's a third down play for West Virginia. 4-man rush. Trickett under pressure. Finds a receiver underneath. Can Carswell get to the sticks? No chance. Nice open field tackle by Lindell Johnson. It's only a gain of a yard or 2. And again, it is 3 downs and out for West Virginia.
The speed of this Oklahoma State defense is something. Here comes Johnson. Look at that speed. Look how he closes.
So now Now it's on Nick O'Toole again, the punter, to try and change field position with Stewart back deep to receive. And O'Toole with another good-looking kick. Stewart muffs the kick, going backwards. Another special teams mistake. All the way back to his own 15-yard line. Ricky Rump was there to bring down Josh Stewart, but he lost 5 on the return after a 55-yard punt. What a huge change of field position.
What's the over-under on special team blunders today? 10? 12? Wow.
So now it's the long field for Oklahoma State, only down by 3. Read option on the end around at Stewart. He is cut down with a flag thrown late from the secondary. Brandon Golson is injured. And was he blocked illegally? Let's listen in on the call, as this is a big call. That was close to a first down run for Josh Stewart if the play was to stand.
Illegal block below the waist, number 87 offense. Penalty being forced half the distance to the goal. First down.
So Tracy Moore called for the illegal block below the waist.
There's Moore cracking back, and he blocked, it looked like Myers, into Golson.
So does that change things? From the 8-yard line now. Walsh scrambling. Steps out of bounds just across the 10. They will mark him out at the 12. Still 13 yards shy of a first down.
How much does this defense have left in them, you know? I mean, that goal line stand, they just did that just moments ago, and they're right back on the field.
Walsh uncorks a deep one, looking for Seals. He can't hold on. He had a step. And that time, J.W. Walsh had all the arm strength that he needed and more, and Jawan Seals couldn't make the catch.
He got behind Banks. On the bottom of the screen, on the right side, he got behind Banks, and Walsh put it out there. Seals just couldn't come up with it. He was wide open after he got behind Banks. And now you got a 3rd and long, and they've brought some pressure on 3rd down, disguising their blitz but bringing it anyway.
Late blitz comes. Walsh well protected. Wants another deep ball to the sideline. Incomplete. He had to throw that one a bit off his back foot as he tried to find Blake Jackson. The pressure, it seemed like, prevented J.W. Walsh from stepping into that throw.
How about the way this defense for West Virginia is hanging in there time and time again? And now another special team situation. Another adventure, perhaps?
And a big flip of field position, you would think. A wobbly kick right to midfield. Fair catch called for and made, and a smart decision by Jordan Thompson. Don't risk losing field position after a 40-yard punt. The West Virginia offense will start right at midfield as we take a look at our Discover Game Changer.
Well, that goal line stand began with Darwin Cook making a tremendous hit and save at the goal line. And then Dontrell Hyman shoots the gap and gets a tackle for loss. And then how about the special teams? Another one not sound in the kicking game. And Oklahoma State came away with nothing after a first down inside the 2-yard line.
The Discover Game Changer brought to you by Discover Card. And now trick it from midfield. Bullets one over the middle, and it's dropped. Is that ruled a completion and a fumble? No, the officials ruled it as an incomplete pass. Jordan Thompson couldn't hold on.
I was talking to the officials before the game today about this type of play, the simultaneous hit, or is there a football move after the catch? And the officiating crew said, you know what, we're not in favor of any cheap turnovers. You have to earn them. So if there's any doubt about whether the guy had possession, it ain't a turnover.
Shamil Gary knocked it out. 2nd down and 10. Charles Sims. Just shy of midfield. Caleb Levy cut him down after a gain of 1.5 yards. That'll roll the clock. But again, it sets up 3rd down and long for West Virginia. This will be 3rd down and close to 9.
And again, what can Trickett do? How much arm strength does he have right now with that bad shoulder?
Can West Virginia put this back on their defense again with a 3-point lead? 3-man rush. Trickett, long throw to the sideline, and there's the offense coming through for West Virginia.
Yeah.
Ronald Carswell with a huge 3rd down catch.
You know how gutty that is? He's hurting. He is hurting. He dug down deep to deliver that throw. Look at the way that arm is hanging. He dug down to get that one out there.
What's the rush now if you're West Virginia? Set to snap the ball with 23 on the play clock. And let's see if they do indeed snap it. And they do with 16 on the play clock. A screen to DeKeel Shorts. Tackled inbounds after a gain of 6.
Let's go back to this 3rd down throw. And Trickett just giving everything he can on that throw with that shoulder aching him. How much does he have left in the tank?
And again, it looks like early in the play clock, they'll snap the ball. Trickett flushed out of the pocket. And he's brought down at about the 32-yard line. And to me, West Virginia is doing Oklahoma State favor after favor by not taking the play clock down. They're snapping the ball only midway through the 40-second play clock, and that is preserving time for the Cowboys, even if West Virginia scores it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I believe Dana Holgorsen is thinking, we're going to follow our offense because it's not late enough in the game. We need another score. We need a touchdown to get ahead and think about clock. I think that's his reasoning for not taking more time.
Wow, you'd think under 6 minutes to go, you'd be thinking a lot about the clock. 3rd and 7. Trickett steps up, throws a bullet pass, and that is a catch on the layout by Jordan Thompson. Another 3rd down conversion.
The sophomore from Katy, Texas is only 5'7", 168, but Trickett delivers this bullet to him, winces afterwards, but look at him lay out. That is a huge, huge catch.
Snap it with 10 on the play clock this time. And up the middle, on the run, it's Charles Sims, right to about the 10-yard line, a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Now, if it were me, I would be slowing things down a little bit, milking the clock some, but I really believe that Dana Holgorsen's approach is, hey, until we get that touchdown, it's a one-possession game, and we're going to go with our tempo and our flow.
Wrong move, because even if you end up kicking a field goal here, if you leave Oklahoma State down by only 6, a lot of time, that could definitely come back to haunt you. And now it will be 3rd down and 6 as Dreamus Smith is brought down at the 10-yard line. Now, had you milked the clock a little bit more,
true, yep,
maybe this wouldn't be the situation now for West Virginia. But now a timeout will be called. Bob Wischusen, Rod Gilmore, Quinn Kesnick, and Rod, what might have been the play of the game by Jordan Thompson a short time ago.
Yeah, he saved them on 3rd down, laying out, coming up with this, creating another 3rd down now for West Virginia.
And the gutty performance continues by Clint Trickett. Another 3rd down, though, after the timeout called by Mike Gundy. 3rd and 6. Trickett, end zone, tipped and incomplete. Tyler Patman got a hand in on the pass intended for Carswell, and it'll be a field goal attempt coming for West Virginia to try and stretch the lead to a touchdown, but Oklahoma State will still have a chance, and they have a lot of time left on the clock, thanks in part to the Mountaineers, snapping the ball early a lot on that drive.
Yeah, they chose to just go with their regular tempo, and it didn't get them a touchdown, but now more special teams.
Here's Josh Lambert, who missed from 34 yards away his last attempt. That one is through. So it's on the West Virginia defense. And the pressure back to the Oklahoma State offense. It's a touchdown lead. 7 points would win it for Oklahoma State potentially. And they have all the time in the world. A couple of timeouts and 3:54 on the clock. Matt Kenseth is 2 for 2 in the chase for the Sprint Cup, lengthening his lead over Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson. 8 races remain as NASCAR's best continue the drive for the championship. It's the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Dover tomorrow at 1 on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN.
JJ sitting in third place there. Probably likes where he is. I would not bet against him.
I like the fact that the two of you have the relationship that you have, that you can call him JJ.
I'm a fan.
You're tight. So can the West Virginia defense now get one more stop? They've gotten stop after stop in the second half, protecting a 3-point lead. Now the offense has set them up with a 6-point lead. Justin Gilbert deep to receive the kick. And Molinari launches one. 6 yards deep. Gilbert takes a knee.
Now, keep in mind that whenever West Virginia has gone with pressure and played man coverage behind it, Oklahoma State's receivers have gotten behind them. So will they roll the dice with that this series? Unlikely. So it becomes how patient will Walsh be to find the holes in the zone that he's likely to get.
Some confusion for Oklahoma State as the play clock's down to 5. 4-man rush. Walsh flips one underneath. Cartwheeling down at the 29-yard line. KJ Dillon made the stop on Josh Stewart. That's a gain of 4, and Stewart's hurt.
He is a big factor in that offense for them.
They stopped the game, so he's going to have to come off the field for at least one play, and it looks as if he is as woozy as his leg might be shaken up as well. Ouch.
Yeah, it was not the initial hit. It was the bounce off the turf, which leaves him a little bit woozy.
That's a big loss for Oklahoma State. 7 catches and a touchdown today for Josh Stewart. Last season, he was in the top 4 in the Big 12 in catches and yards and was a first-team All-Big 12 selection.
And now you see how deep the safeties play. Last play, they were 17 yards deep. Right now, you see 1 at 15. Are they serious, or are they going to drop out? They look like they're creeping back out, so not a lot of deep balls likely to be given up.
Walsh buying some time. High ball intercepted at midfield. Darwin Cook gets the pick. It's not over yet.
Nope.
The crowd might think it's over, but West Virginia's not in field goal range. There's still 3.5 minutes on the clock, and Oklahoma State still has 2 timeouts.
Lack of patience. We told you about the deep safeties. We told you about Walsh needing to be patient here. He wasn't patient. He tried to stick one in there a little bit deeper than he needed. And Cook makes the play. But now West Virginia needs a score, and they need to burn clock.
And Oklahoma State has to get a 3-and-out. They have to sell out to stop the run, and they seemingly did so on first down. Castleman and Levy combine on the tackle after a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and at least 8, if not 7. And the clock will start to wind down.
And if you're West Virginia, so much for tempo. You need to burn clock. You need to make Oklahoma State use their timeouts.
You'd have to think Oklahoma State would call timeout number 2 after this play if they get the stop. Trick at the throw. That's a first down. Great play call by Shannon Dawson, the offensive coordinator, and Dana Holgerson dialing it up. And that is a huge first down for the Mountaineers.
How about Trickett's digging deep again to make another throw? I mean, his arm is barely hanging on his shoulder at this point. He is somehow finding a way to throw the ball through the pain in his right shoulder.
And that really hurts Oklahoma State as now the clock can get all the way down close to 2 minutes and 10 seconds or less. A swing pass to Sims. Stays in bounds. Now he's down. Where do they mark him out? At about the 14-yard line.
Yeah, but be careful with that. You know, if you're a West Virginia fan, you can legitimately ask, why are we throwing the ball?
And now a flag has been thrown as Kevin White and Justin Gilbert got into an altercation after the play came to an end. This is a huge call. A flag was thrown by the officials on the altercation 25 yards up the field from where the play came to an end.
You know what? That's selfish. On both players' part, it's too risky for West Virginia and Oklahoma State. Neither guy should be involved with anything at this juncture of the ball game.
Well, especially if you're Kevin White.
Absolutely.
If you get called for some type of host play foul here that costs your team 15 yards, here is the call.
Personal foul. Flagrant personal foul. Number 4, defense. Number 4 is disqualified. Penalty being forced 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
And instead, it is Justin Gilbert that gets called for an ejectable personal foul.
Yeah, he's had a terrific game, but that's just a stupid play.
Now there's 11 and 4. That is the altercation where it begins as Sims gets down the sideline.
Yeah, he's blocked and doesn't like it and continues on. Looks like throwing a punch to the face.
Oklahoma State still has 2 timeouts, but now they really are on life support as it is first and goal at the 7 after the penalty, and that allows the clock to wind. Why would West Virginia snap the ball? They do with 14 seconds on the play clock. Turning the corner is Smith, and he goes out of bounds.
What is the... You know,
the clock management continues to baffle for West Virginia. And if they kick a field goal and make it a 2-possession game, it's over. But snapping the ball with 14 on the play clock and going out of bounds.
You could even simply take a knee or quarterback sneak it, force them to use their timeout, take a field goal, and go home. Why you would risk leaving time on the clock or running wide or even handoffs, you don't have to. You're in a great spot right now.
And now Oklahoma State can use their timeouts on 2nd and 3rd down and at least force West Virginia, if they don't get in the end zone, into a play that could turn things around. Flags down. Delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So when the clock is rolling, West Virginia snaps the ball early in the play clock. With the clock stopped, they use the whole play clock and get a delay of game call. And now it's 2nd and goal back near the 8. And Smith's going to lose more yardage. He'll be all the way back to the 19-yard line by the time the play stops. And now Mike Gundy will call timeout.
Yeah. And with what we've seen with special teams, no field goal is a certainty from that distance.
Timeout. Oklahoma State.
Well, now they're back at the 17-yard line.
30 seconds.
So as things stand now, this could be a 34, 35-yard field goal attempt. This is not over. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Windows, showcases the nation's longest win streak. Urban Meyer's 4th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes will take on the 23rd-ranked Wisconsin Badgers. Saturday Night Football tonight on ABC at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
Well, upset alert Saturday. We talked about it last night. Upset alert for this ball game, and I'm putting the Buckeyes on upset alert with Bucky Badger.
Josh Lambert is 2 for 4 today. For all intent and purposes, a field goal here ends the game. It makes it a 2-possession game, and we would be under 90 seconds to go when the field goal happened. But West Virginia has done everything that they can to make the end of the game an adventure as they have backed away from the Oklahoma State goal line. They're snapping the ball at times early in the play clock, and also,
no doubt,
going out of bounds, allowing Oklahoma to preserve their timeouts. If you're Oklahoma State here, is this just a straight sellout to stop the run?
Absolutely. I mean, the drama is provided for you. The opportunity is there because of the clock management.
Now, we've seen Dana Holgerson, even on this drive, let Clint Trickett throw it. Would you allow him to throw the ball here?
No way.
There's a handoff to Sims, and Mike Gundy will call the final timeout for Oklahoma State. And now it will be 4th down and goal from about the 16.
Their 3rd and final, 30 seconds in length.
And you have to kick the field goal. You had the opportunity earlier to avoid this by burning some clock, but because you didn't and you didn't force them to use their timeouts, now you have a longer field goal you have to make to put the game away.
Well, this is going to be about a 34, maybe a 35-yard attempt, and we have seen Josh Lambert miss from this distance.
Yeah.
If he misses,
Oklahoma
State's out of timeouts, but they'll have well over a minute up on the clock, and they would need a touchdown to win the game.
Imminently doable.
So it comes down to this. Josh Lambert, the redshirt freshman, 2 for 4 today. If he knocks it through, it is all but over. If he misses, then Oklahoma State still has a chance, and this one will be from 34. Never a doubt. They made it more interesting than it needed to be, but now it's a 2-possession game with 1:28 to go and no timeouts left for the Cowboys.
Well, we've had adventures with special teams all afternoon, but not on that one. When West Virginia needed to be clean in the kicking game and to be sound, they were.
Ball drops off the tee, and Justin Gilbert not back deep to receive the kick, obviously, as he was knocked out of the game earlier. So since it is a 2-possession game, then it may not be that much of a factor, but still Justin Gilbert ejected on that last series of downs. So the primary kick returner not back for Oklahoma State, and this one will hook to about the goal line. Desmond Rowland brings it back. And he gets out to the 22-yard line. Let's go back to Reese Davis.
Bob, as soon as you guys finish, we'll show you the NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Dover. We've already started that on ESPN Classic, also on the Watch ESPN app. We'll bring it back to ESPN as soon as we're done with football. Joey Logano, who's won 3 in a row there, is out front.
All right, Reese, thanks very much. Well, we could have had coverage for you of the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Dover. The Sprint Cup, pardon me, at Dover a while ago. If not for some questionable clock management from West Virginia down the stretch in this one, but now they've got the 2-possession lead. J.W. Walsh has to get some chunk plays. Looks for one there to Jawan Seals, and he can't haul it in.
Now, if West Virginia holds on here.
And Seals took a headshot, and he has not gotten up.
No.
On that deflection, it was a glancing blow, but it definitely seemed as if he took some contact to the back of his helmet, and he immediately went down. And some nervous moments here for the redshirt freshman. And the right shoulder of Darwin Cook.
Yeah. As he was stretched out. He immediately went down, did not move.
Juwan Seals is a player that the Oklahoma State coaching staff thinks has a very bright future. He had 11 catches and a touchdown coming into today, and add 4 more catches for 40 yards receiving this afternoon. But some nervous moments here as he took that shot to the back of the head. And this has quieted the crowd here at Mountaineer Field. It was a big-time celebration before that play, but now far more important, you worry about the health of a young man that is now being slowly helped up.
This is the second Oklahoma State receiver we've seen leave the field with what appears to be some kind of a injury to the head, either by direct hit or by having their head bounce on the turf.
He definitely seems to be having a conversation with the training staff for Oklahoma State. So
well, you know,
we'll take the helmet off now and hopefully be able to make it over to the sideline, as it looks like now they'll help him up.
Yeah, that's a good sign there. You know, Josh Stewart went out earlier, and now Seals is up and heading off the field, but it's good to see that he's on his feet.
A slow walk for a player knocked woozy on that last play, and let Juwan Seals take all the time he needs to get off the field, because that was a scary moment. So now as Seals makes it over to the sideline, 1:18 to go. 5 defensive backs, at least 7 to 20 yards off the line of scrimmage for West Virginia. They will exchange yardage for time here. Low throw, unable to scoop it up is Tracy Moore. It will be 3rd down and 10.
You know, Oklahoma State is the highest ranked team out of the Big 12, and with a loss today, there will not be a Big 12 team in the top 15 unless Oklahoma finds a way to beat Notre Dame and stay number 14. I mean, look how long it's been since the Big 12 has been without a team in the top 15.
Ball batted down at the line. It'll be 4th and 10. You're right, Rod. The Big 12 is not a league where you would think a team could afford to suffer a loss and still have a chance at a national championship at the end of the year. This is a league where you're going to have to run the table. In the SEC, you can lose a game, depending on which game it is, and still come back and be a 1, maybe even a 2-loss team at the end of the year, depending on how things shake out. But you have to think you need to be undefeated in the Big 12, and Oklahoma State, barring a miracle here, will not be. Walsh on 4th and 10. Tries to run for it, gets bumped out of bounds, and that will do it. Oklahoma State will turn it over on downs, and the celebration here in Morgantown will officially be on, as now Dana Holgerson's team can take a knee. Virginia was nearly a 3-touchdown underdog at home to Oklahoma State. And in his first start, and really what is his adopted hometown, and a courageous one at that, Clint Trickett fights through what looked to be a pretty serious shoulder injury in the second half, with his arm at times hanging limp at his side, leaned into some throws. And with the help of one defensive stop after another, Rod Gilmore, this is going to be a big win for Dana Holgerson's program.
Well, he was looking for a quarterback. I think he found one. Toughness, poise. At one point, Trickett could not throw. Came out of the ball game, his arm hanging, and then came back in to make 3 really big throws to get his team in position to win the ball game. And that goal line stand by the defense, phenomenal.
His arm was healthy enough to wave to mom in celebration as West Virginia wins it over Oklahoma State by 9. And it looks like Mike Gundy is still looking for his old offensive coordinator, Dana Holgerson. And there are the 2 old coaching associates on the handshake as Holgerson wins. 30-21, West Virginia over Oklahoma State. Now it's time for the NASCAR Nation.